Welcome, 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 everybody. I'm going to wait for people to come in. It's Saturday, the 1st. Hope everybody's Saturday and weekend is going good. Hope everybody's having like I don't know, I guess like a day outside if you have the opportunity. I know it's extremely hot down here, but everywhere else I hear it's really nice. So if you can get outside and have fun, you should do it. Oh Lord, here she comes with the squeaky toy. You just wait for me to get on live, don't you? Are you a clout chaser, jalapeno? My dog is chasing clout, y'all. Like I said, I'm just going to wait a minute and let people come in. And if nobody's in here in a little bit, I'll just start. This is all I'm going to really talk about is what's going on with Kodak Black. And I've got a couple other things to update on. So like I said, hope everybody's having a good weekend. Oh my goodness. Can you stop, please? Jeez. So how's the weather where everybody is at? It's hot as hell down here and humid. So it's like you don't even want to go outside. It's just, ugh. So the weather up north is probably just perfect right about now. Hey, Truck Turner, how are you? How's your weekend? I was just bitching about the weather. I bet you it's perfect where you guys are at in Michigan. It's probably so nice right now. I'm jealous. I'm just giving it a little while for some people to get in here before I start. And hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Truck Turner, your avatar cracks me up every time I see it. But yeah, like I said earlier, I'm just going to give you guys the rundown on Kodak Black, his court date the other day, and what he ended up getting. And then I'm going to go into a rundown of a couple of cases that I've talked about earlier that were unsolved. And two of them, believe it or not, oh my, will you stop? Two of the cases that I've talked about that were unsolved, they ended up finding the person that did it. And so far, they've connected two other shootings to the same man. So we're going to talk about that. And, I mean, that case is crazy. And then I'm going to open up the panel. So if you want to come up here and say what you think, you're more than welcome to do so. Okay. Everybody that's in here, can somebody just tell me you guys can hear me okay? Before I start. I'm pretty sure you guys can. It's been good lately, so. I'm sorry about the extra squeaky nose. Okay, Tariq, so that means you can hear me? Awesome. How's your weekend going, Tariq? Good, I hope. Alrighty. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna start it off like this because I'm pretty sure that everybody that's gonna be here pretty much knows who Kodak Black is already. Um, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a rapper from Florida, and he is 23. He's got one child, I'm pretty sure. And something kind of different about Kodak Black. Oh my good, will you stop? Thank you. Sorry. Um, Something interesting about him though. His real name, right? Because of course Kodak Black is like a persona, but his real name was Dyson Octave, right? Like his legal name. And he actually changed it to Black Capri. There's a middle name he's got too. I think it's like Bill or something like that. But yeah, he changed his legal name to Black Capri. I'm not really sure why. I guess he just didn't like his natural born name. But whatever floats his boat, he's allowed to do. I remember when I was younger growing up, I used to always want to change my name. And I really don't know why. I just didn't like it. And then when I got older, I was like, you're just used to it by then. I don't know if anybody else wanted to do that, but I used to always want to be able to pick my name when I was young. But anyway, um, Kodak Black has been rapping since around 2014. Now that's when he's been doing music and it's been out. I'm pretty sure he was rapping, underground and stuff like that before then. Um in my opinion, he's okay. He's not like I think he's got a long way to go. That's just like in my opinion. I mean, I know a lot of people, especially down here in Florida, they just, love him to death. And, like I said, I don't think he's a bad rapper. I just think that he's got a lot of room to grow, and I think he could really do good if he keeps going the way he's going and he stays out of trouble. Jesus, this boy. um Even okay, I could say it like that too, because if you guys haven't, like I said, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of Kodak Black, but if perhaps you haven't, even if you don't know that he's a rapper, you might have heard about him before, because he's one of the men that President Trump pardoned and had released from prison before his term was over. Kodak Black was serving a 46-month sentence for state and federal weapons violations. He had also had charges for lying on federal forms to get weapons. So he was in there on a 46-month sentence in prison, but he got pardoned and released by Trump. And it was 2016. And I want to say the reason why this case that was before his weapons charge case, like he was serving time for that. And normally when you get in trouble and it's a big deal like that, the lawyers usually want about 1.5 to 2 years to be able to get all this evidence on you and everything else. That's why you see a lot of these big cases don't go to court for about 2 years. But back in 2016, he had a rape charge he was facing. There was a girl from South Carolina that basically said she had told Kodak no, but he still took the Phuket. Will you stop it? So she said that she told him no and that he took the Phuket. Okay. Well, finally, on this past Wednesday, April 28th, he had court for that, right? And it kept getting postponed before I think he kept dragging it out and dragging out. And then he had his weapons case. So that kind of interfered with it. So, it kind of took a back burner. So this happened, like I said, a long time ago, back in 16. But finally, like I said, on Wednesday, he had court. He ended up pleading guilty to a lesser charge of first-degree assault. Okay? Now, with this lesser charge, he still ended up with a 10-year suspended sentence hanging over his head. A lot of people don't like to do that. I know if I wouldn't want to do that because, well, I'll get into that in a minute. So since he pled to this lesser charge, of first-degree assault, he's got that 10 years suspended over his head. But if he completes 18 months of probation, then the suspended will disappear, right? So basically, he's on 18 months of probation. And he's got that first-degree assault on his record, which is not that big of a deal. That's, I think, like getting into a fight or something like that. Okay. Now, here's the thing that I don't like, or you want to kind of stay away from if you can, especially when it's like 10 years or something long like that. A suspended sentence basically means that if he violates his probation in any kind of way, he's going to end up going right back to prison and have to do those 10 years. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you sign that paperwork, that's what happens. Like, when you have that damn sentence over your head, no matter what it is, you agree to that probation, you mess up, and I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've had a couple friends, and I swear they just watch for you to, like, fuck up. Like, they want you to fuck up. Like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I swear, like, you know, you gotta make sure if you're taking a ride with somebody that they're clean and they don't have shit in the car. Like, you gotta be really careful, because when you're on probation like that, if they pull over a car and you're in it, they can search that car. Or I know at least in Florida they can. Like, if you're in somebody's house and they come in the house, they can search that house. If you're walking down the street, they can stop you at any time and search you because you're on probation. So that shit is wild. Like, you're basically just, you have no rights almost. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really stay, like, not below the radar, like off of that damn thing. Like, don't even be, you don't want to be seen, heard, nothing, because they will throw your ass back in, you know, in there, no problem. So he's got to make sure he doesn't violate that probation in any kind of way, or he's going to go right back to prison and he's going to have to do those 10 years. When he did go to court, he did address the judge and the victim. And he said, quote unquote, "I apologize this happened, and I'm hopeful we can all move forward." Later, Kodak is so messy, y'all. He really is so messy. Later, he posted a tweet that said, "5 years later, both of us just wanted to get this shit over with, and I ain't have to come off no money," unquote. Really, Kodak? Really? To just rub it in? Like, oh, anyway. Then he later tweeted, quote unquote, okay, this is his words, "Y'all be wanting to end to go out sad, homie," laughing emoji. "Wishing bad on a real end. I never seen it work." So he's just basically being messy, talking shit. His next tweet, he had put, "My heart goes out to all the girls out here getting raped and shit for real. But I ain't did that shit though." Pause. Tariq, you would say he's a goat. You're a trip. I couldn't believe he put that last one though. It's like the tweets got worse and worse and worse, right? Like, morally worse anyway. Like, he's just got this, you know, big chip on his shoulder now that he's doesn't have to do any prison. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, he's got to be careful because, you know, he's got that sentence over his head, but it's like he's got all this confidence now, like he's beat the case or whatever, so he's talking straight shit. But when he put, "My heart goes out to all the girls out here getting raped and shit for real, but I ain't did that shit." Pause. And don't start it up again. I can't believe, what? I don't think he worded that right at all. I really, really don't think that he worded that right. Like, I know what he meant, I guess. Okay, if he's like, "My heart goes out to all the girls," I think he's trying to say, like, he's still trying to deny that he did anything, right? So he's saying that girls that actually have gotten, you know, ARD or went through that. But shout out means like a good job, so I wouldn't want to say shout out to them. I don't know. Kodak's confusing the hell out of me with that one. I'm gonna leave it alone. That just threw me way left. So we'll skip that and be done with it. All right. But since he had said that, let me tell you guys a few details about the case I was able to find out. The girl had claimed that they were in the hotel room and that he had attacked her. She said he had pushed her into a wall, then onto a bed, biting her in her like her breast and her neck. And then the R allegedly occurred, okay? So she's basically saying, you know, she went to the hotel with him and like he got kind of like forceful with her and threw her on the wall, threw her on, oh my goodness, threw her on the wall, threw her on the bed, bit her, and then R'd her. So, you know, sounds like a fun time. That's crazy. But that is what she said allegedly took place. But that was basically the only thing. I mean, I couldn't. Oh my God, will you stop? And then she looks at me like I'm wrong. But that was almost the best details I could come up with. Probably because it just ended. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people will interview her or something like that, and we'll get more details. But it's such an old case, you know. So I'm just glad that it's over anyway, because everybody was sitting there wondering what's going to happen with it. What's going to happen with it? Is he going to go to prison? Is he going to, you know, what's going to happen? Then it got thrown back so far that weapons case took precedence over this one, which is odd. And, ooh, I wonder if that's because the weapons case was probably federal, I bet. And this is probably state. Ooh, I bet you. And you know how the feds are. Okay, I answered my own question. But yeah, that's basically the best I could come up with about what she had said occurred. All alleged, of course. And of course he says that you know, it didn't happen. He didn't R her, so now with his probation, one thing about that I had said pause to earlier, right? When I was telling you guys that you're on probation, right, but you've got this suspended sentence, one thing about that, he's not like what do they call it? Like the rules of his probation. He's not going to be allowed to use any drugs, drink any alcohol, or be in possession of any firearms. So literally, and he's known for all of that shit, okay? Like all the time. He's constantly like, okay, do you guys remember? I actually talked about it. Dang, I didn't even think to bring this back up. But I want to say it was a week and a half to almost 2 weeks ago where he was at McDonald's and there was a shooting there and they thought that Kodak Black had got shot, but I guess it was somebody else. And he was saying they weren't looking for him. It was at that McDonald's. But, you know, he hasn't even been out that long and he's already having all these issues. I mean, that's crazy. But he's going to, like I said, he's going to have to stay, no drinking, no drugs, and no firearms. Ooh, and you guys want to hear something really weird that I found out while I was digging? His lawyer, right, that he had, his lawyer was on Trump's TV show, The Apprentice. I don't know if you guys remember that show. I vaguely remember it. I think it's where Donald Trump, he would have like, oh, I don't remember how many people it was, but he was basically having people compete to win this contest to be like get an apprenticeship under him for like all the business, you know, stuff that he does and learn all the things that he knows. So the lawyer for Kodak at his trial that just took place was a contestant on Donald Trump's show, The Apprentice. I thought that was like weird. Yeah, I know, Tariq. That's why I said that in the beginning, right? That Trump is the one that pardoned Kodak, right? So isn't it kind of weird that his lawyer was, you know, I mean, it's a small world, I guess, but is it a small world or is that like a weird connection? But yeah, Trump pardoned him. I talked about that earlier, in the same fact that then his lawyer was on a TV show for Trump. Yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. Um, the only thing that I'm really worried about is, like I was saying, um, Kodak Black is known to always be in the middle of some shit, right? And I hope that he really, really takes this serious, because, like I said, if he ends up going out one night and being around people that, they could get pulled over, and if somebody has a gun, he's going to go to prison. Um, he could be around people that get in a fight, and if the police come and he's around alcohol, or he's going to go to prison. Like, he's got to be so careful. And for 18 months, like, if I was him, I would get the hell out of Florida. I would go somewhere. Oh, where would I go? I'd go to, like, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere somewhere. You know what I mean? Just go somewhere for 18 months, do a whole bunch of music. Like, he's got enough money to where he could have like a little studio set up, work on music and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? But just stay out of trouble, because I'm so worried, and especially in Florida, that he's just going to end up getting in some sort of trouble, or somebody's going to try to set him up some way or something like that. You know what I mean? What'd you say, Tariq? His security can carry guns and he can just family. Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, like, he's a celebrity, right? So, like, people are gonna be hawkeyeing him, like, trying. It's just, I don't know. I've got my fingers crossed, and I hope everything ends up okay. But I don't know. Ugh, it's really gonna be bad for him if he ends up getting in the wrong kind of situation. Like, and think about it. Hey, NASA. Um, how's your Saturday going? I'm talking about Kodak Black. But well, yeah, but Tariq, I'm not talking about going into hiding. I'm talking about he can get the hell up out of Florida. For 18 months is not that long. He's got enough experiences to talk about, do, like, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 more albums. You know what I mean? Like, he's got enough. He doesn't need to be down here to have like experiences like that. He's got enough of them already. You know what I mean? So, and I don't mean like going to hiding or anything weird like that. I just mean like, get, because Florida, like, it's just, it's hard to stay out of trouble down here. Like, there's just and it's just bad. Like I said, I think he should just go somewhere else for a while, take it easy, and not draw a lot of attention. Basically, try to stay out of the public eye for a little bit. It is a long time, right? But you said it right there. When you have a lot of money in the world at your feet, right? So he could do anything. Shoot, he could go and sit his ass down, like, I don't know, in Jamaica somewhere, or like, um somewhere overseas. Like, he could just go, and he could go to a bunch of different places, actually, like you said, in 18 months, because it's a long time. I just want him to be okay and get out of, because it seems like a lot of his problems happen here. So I just hope that he's able to get through it, and he doesn't end up having to serve that sentence. Because, like you're saying, 18 months is a long time. Think about if something happens and he's got to do those 10 years. Those 18 months would look like a cakewalk. Um, but I wanted to ask you guys, what, okay, the only thing, like, Kodak Black's trying to say that, like, he didn't do anything to the girl, and he's kind of, the first tweet that he had made where he was like, he didn't have to pay out any money or anything like that. That's kind of messed up, right? Like, the girl actually didn't sue him for any money, though. But that's the one thing that kind of makes it look legit, because I guess she had told, like, her school counselor or something, and that's how it ended up starting. But um for her not to want to sue him for any money, it kind of makes her, it seem like, and she didn't want to be known or anything, so for clout or anything like that. So I don't know. Nobody knows because nobody was in the room but him and her. But I just don't want. He needs to stay out of trouble. That's not a good look. It really, really isn't. But that was kind of crazy. I thought how he was kind of throwing it out there that he didn't have to pay any money. It's like too soon, Kodak. Too soon. Don't rub it in. Uh, yeah, you're right, Tariq. That is exact. Oh shit, you're right. Dang it, I forgot about that. You're right, Tariq. I forgot about reporting. Unless he gets permission, right? Yeah, because you got to get permission from them to go anywhere. Dang, you're right. But you're right about the support system. Yes, I had already thought about that. Like how you said security. Like he needs to have like the security people around him that'll actually, like have his best interest at heart. Even though it's hard to tell that, but that's the kind of thing that he needs around him where people actually, um, try to look out for him and keep him out of trouble, not just have a bunch of yes people around. That's got to be the biggest issue as a celebrity, I would think, that like you don't know if people give a shit about you or not. That's got to be one of the biggest things that would probably drive you nuts. You would actually never know if somebody was there for you or not. I think that's why most celebrities, not most, but some of them, end up getting with people that they were with before they were famous because they know that they knew the real person type of thing before money. It's crazy. All right. Okay, let me see. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about, unless you guys have any questions, I'm going to drop the link too. That way, just in case somebody wants to come up and talk about it, you guys can. Okay. Tariq, can you see the link down there? Hopefully, you guys can see it. That way, if somebody wants to come up, they can. Okay. All right. So that means yes. Cool. Thank you, Tariq. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys remember or if you saw the show I did a little while ago um about the let me see. Which one do I want to start with? Hold on. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to start out with this one right here. I remember I had talked about this, but I don't think it was on my panel. But did any of you guys know of a guy named Woo Biddy? I didn't before this happened, so I'm not sure if you guys know it all. But he was 20 years old, and he basically called himself a social media comedian. He wasn't really known or anything like that. Like I said, I hadn't heard of him, until this happened. And he wasn't an actual comedian. He wanted to be. He was like on his way to be, but he called himself a comedian. But it's strange because he was more of a troll when I was researching. But I think he would try to call himself a comedian to kind of cover his ass when he'd be trolling because he would say, like, when people do that shock shit, like he'd try to say like the most off the wall hurtful things in videos and stuff like that. But on Christmas Eve of last year, he was actually killed on Instagram Live. So like I said, I don't know if you guys might even know what I'm talking about, but not know the name of him. But when they had found him, he had 15 shots. Like, I mean, he was so overkilled it wasn't even funny, and all those shots were to his chest and his head. Um, right before he was murdered, I know you guys have heard about FBG Duck and how he was shot, right, in Chicago. And you guys know how FBG Duck had the beef with King Von and how all that was going back and forth. Um, After FBG Duck was murdered, this woo bitty comedian guy, he had made I think it was an Instagram video. I don't think it was YouTube, but he had made a video where he was dissing uh FBG Duck, and he was talking about, like fuck that street, and like all the affiliation that FBG Duck had. He was basically like calling him out, saying that, like, fuck them, and like, he's riding for King Von and like all this other stuff. In reality, he didn't know any of them. He didn't even live in Chicago. But like, nobody even knows why he really made this video, but he did. And it was strange. But he makes this video where he's talking cash shit, right? And like right after he makes this video, he ends up getting murdered. Like I said, I don't they the police and like everybody else, that talks about it have tried to say they're not okay. Well, let's put it like this. The police say they don't know if that's why he was murdered. But everybody on the street basically is saying, okay, it's kind of odd that he never talked, bad about Duck before, but the minute that he did, then he gets gunned down. So, it's kind of obvious that like either people were tired of his mouth, or they were salty about him talking shit about Duck. I mean, it had just happened. It was very, sore subject. So if he was doing that for clout, he definitely got that, he got murdered for it. But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. There wasn't much information about it when it happened. They weren't releasing the footage of it. When I was able to look it up now, it was crazy because the street that he was walking down, and this was a couple hours after he made the video, the street that he was walking down, it was almost like every house or every other house had those doorbell cameras. Like it was literally tracked. You could watch like his whole walk that he was taking. And when they put it together, it basically shows him walking like a pretty good distance down this, this sidewalk. And then they have it put together to where while he's walking, I don't know, you're watching him walk down a sidewalk probably like 30 seconds or something. Then they jump back to where he started walking, and you see a guy all of a sudden come out of nowhere. This is broad daylight, by the way. A guy pops out of nowhere and starts following him. But the guy is a good distance back. Like, I mean, he's far back. Maybe like, I don't know, a block or a block and a half. Then all of a sudden, he gets on the same sidewalk and starts running to catch up to him, right? And there's sound to it, but of course you can't hear the footsteps, right? But somehow the woo bitty guy, he notices, or he must have heard the guy coming up behind him when he had started running, because you can see Woo start to run. So you see him running from the guy, and I really don't know why he did this, but he stops all of a sudden, and this all happened at one time, but I'm gonna have to break it down to you. But remember, this all happened at once. So like he stops running, he turns around to face the guy. At the same time that he's doing that, he takes his phone out and he jumps on live. He jumps on Instagram live. So when he turns around, faces the guy, and he's getting on live, he doesn't have like his face or anything on the live yet, but he just jumps on live. The guy is walking up to him because the guy quit running too. The guy starts walking, but he's still coming towards the woo guy. And he's like, he says something like, you can't really hear what he says, but he says something to the guy. And when you slow it down, you can see the guy reach under his shirt and pull out the gun, right? And then Woo's like, man, we're on live, man, we're on live. And then all you hear is like 15 shots, like blam, 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 blam. I mean, he unloaded 15, hot ones into that boy. Then you can see him running off. So like I said, you know, the Instagram video itself, you hear him say something kind of muffled to the guy. You could see him pull out the gun under his shirt, and that's when he's like, "Man, we're on live, we're on live." And you know, that guy didn't give two shits. He was with it. He just pumped his ass, 15 shots, runs away, and that's the video. And like I said, it was in broad daylight. And you know what was weird too was whatever neighborhood they were in, and it looked like probably like a middle class neighborhood. Nobody else was outside, right? Hey, King Ramon, about time. But I have the link down there if you want to come up. I just got done talking about Kodak. But it was weird, like I said. It was broad daylight. It looked maybe it was either early in the morning or like almost evening, because it wasn't like, you know, noon where the sun is up and it's really bright. So it was kind of in between. It was either or. And it was kind of overcast, but I mean, that guy, like, there was nobody else out in the neighborhood though. There were no kids. There were like nobody, there weren't even pets outside. It was weird. It was just those two. But yeah, that's what happened to Woo Biddy. Okay, so they find him in somebody's grass. He's shot 15 times. And like I said, they ended up finding, you know, through doorbell cameras and other surveillance, they saw the guy. But because he was completely dressed in all black and everything, hey,
Hey, baby mama.
what are you doing?
I just woke up. Like I was going in and out of naps and shit all day.
That's messed up too, because I'm extremely tired. Like I told Larry, I was like, "Do you know we carried your show till like 7:30?"
Right, right.
And
Oh
then
my
like
goodness.
when I got off the live with you, I think I went to sleep for like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then the dogs were barking at something, so I got up, couldn't go back to sleep, and I've been up ever since. And I'm just like, oh god.
Hey, Fabe, I get you right back, mama. I come back live.
Sorry.
Sugar babe. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Sugar babe?
King
Hello?
King Ramon. What the hell?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hold on. Oh, he jumped back down. Tariq, can you hear me? I think that was his stuff messing up. Because I can see the thing moving around my avatar. I should be okay. You guys should be able to hear me. Tariq, you're a trip. I don't know. Maybe he is pregnant. Hey, Larry. Oh, okay, so you can hear me. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'll drop the link again for him. Something was going on with his phone or something, though. Because we were talking and everything was all right. So, King Ramon, if you can hear me, you can come back in. I don't know what happened. But okay. So before he came in, we were talking about Woo Biddy and everything, and that's how he passed away. And they did not know who did it. They were investigating, but there weren't really any leads or anything into it at all. So it was just an open case still, because like I said, it had just happened last December. Now, if you guys remember a little while ago, I had talked about another murder that was about the guy Ronnie Hargrove. He was 20 years old. He had been released from jail on March 18th, and it was like at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And there was a bus stop across the street from the jail. So he had called somebody from his family to come and pick him up, and he went across and was sitting at the bus stop, I guess, waiting on his family member to come and pick him up. And like I said, it was like at midnight or 1 in the morning, and he's waiting for his ride to come and get him. And allegedly, after about 45 minutes to an hour of him waiting, a car pulls up and they start like shooting at him. So he gets up and runs across the street back into the parking lot of the jail. Hey, let's talk. He runs across the street back into the parking lot of the jail, and they had one of the parking lots where there's like that what would you call it, like an arm to where you go through a security guard or raise the arm so the car can go through. But I guess it was because it was nighttime, there was no security guard and the arm was up. So he runs through there, and remember, there was no security guard or anything, which is weird because it's a jail. But he runs through back into the parking lot across the street from that bus where he was waiting for the bus stop for his family member. And the vehicle followed him. Like, they followed him into the jail parking lot and shot him. Conveniently, like I said, which is weird, they didn't have a security guard at the gate. The gate was up. This guy had just gotten released from that same jail. And how about the jail? Their cameras apparently weren't working. So even though the guy runs into, I can't imagine being in his position either. You run into the parking lot of a jail and nobody apparently hears you. You just get shot to death in the parking lot. And you've got all these, cops inside, and they apparently didn't hear anything, didn't see anything, and their cameras don't work. That's a bunch of bullshit, but side eye to that shit. So if you guys remember me talking about him, kind of put like a fork in that and just put it in the back of your head. Now, if we jump to, now I didn't cover this. This happened on March 11th. On March 11th, there were 2 other murders, right? There was a quadruple shooting that had happened at an apartment complex. There was 16-year-old Tamir Brown and 24-year-old Naquan Smith, and they were both shot and they passed away. The other 2 were 19-year-olds, and they were in critical condition. I couldn't find out any updates on them to find out if they're still in critical, or if they're okay now. Like I said, I couldn't dig up anything and find out. Hopefully, how I do my updated stuff, I can find out eventually how they're doing. But out of the 4 people that got shot, 2 passed away and 2 were in critical. This is in Philly, let's talk. Now, so you've got 4 people shot, 2 of them passed away, 2 are in critical. Then you've got the guy that had gotten shot in the jail parking lot. And then you've got the self-proclaimed comedian that was shot on Instagram Live last December. So, you've got a total of 4 people dead now and 6 people shot altogether. Now, on April 28th, that just passed, the Philly police announced a suspect to this, right? And not only in the 2 murders that we had talked about in the beginning, but in these other 2 murders where the 4 people were shot. Hold on just a second, guys. Okay. I had to get the dog up on the thing. Okay, so they say that they finally got a suspect. They arrested, and this is kind of heartbreaking, but it's a 16-year-old boy that they're trying to say has done all these shootings. Um oh, they also think, and this is really horrible, that Ronnie Hargrove, the guy that was shot in the jail parking lot, they think that was a mistake, and it was like the wrong person. They think that they shot the wrong guy. So he basically got shot and murdered for nothing. Less than an hour after he got released from jail. That's horrible. If that's really, comes out to be true, that's horrible. And I'm not really sure if they think it's mistaken identity, right? That means that either the suspect has told them something like that, or there's some sort of witnesses or some way that they know that. So, but that's horrible. I can't imagine. I know it's not the first time that's happened, but like I said, that's just horrible to lose your life to something like that, and have it be a stupid mistake. Oh, the world sucks, I swear. But yeah, so they arrest this 16-year-old. It didn't give me any details with him being a minor, how they arrested him. I wasn't able to find out much, about what was leading them to him. But like I said, they've connected him to the murder of Woo Biddy, the comedian, and the 3 other murders. The most that I was able to find is they're saying that they have evidence that links him to all 4 murders. And the other 2 people that were shot in that apartment complex that are in critical condition or were in critical condition, I'm pretty sure you guys know how it goes, to where if something happens and they end up passing away, then he's going to be charged with their murders too. So hopefully they're okay. But like I said, I'm going to watch and see if I can, eventually they'll let out something to let us know how they are. I don't know how your guys' opinions on this kind of thing are about a 16-year-old doing all of this, right? But it's a little bit strange, especially the Woo Biddy murder, for the 15 times that he shot him. It was like with no hesitation. I mean, like I said, the guy pulled out his phone, he clicked the live, and he was like, "We're on live." And I mean, he didn't even hesitate. He just, by the time he had pulled it, like on the video, he gets it out from under his shirt, and he doesn't even have it raised up all the way to his chest, and he's already pumping him, with shots. So, like, he didn't hesitate. He didn't give one fuck at all. Um, and that's crazy to me, to think that, it it was a hit. It had to have been a hit. I mean, there's no way. And then the guy in the jailhouse parking lot, the way that would have been a hit too, but that's the wrong guy apparently. And then, like I said about the apartment complex, that was sketchy. I could not find a bunch of info about that. And also, with him being a juvie, like I said, you've got to search and search, and it's hard to get evidence at all. Um, it just sucks though, like I said, that he is so young, 16, and you've killed all these people already, allegedly. Um, oh, that was another thing too. They are actively investigating a couple other murders that they think could be linked to him, but we're not positive so far. So he could actually have more. And I'll tell you one thing too. If he's popping people like that, you would think that that's probably not the first time he's done that. So, I don't know. Maybe he's been doing this for a couple years or something. That's crazy. Um, I know when I was talking about the police shooting of the 16-year-old girl, um, Micaiah Bryant, that had the knife, you guys remember? You remember how everybody was saying, like, because she was 16. It's really touchy. That's why, like, if somebody wants to come up here and talk about it on the panel, you can, because it's really touchy. People say that when you're a minor like that, your brain's not fully developed. You might make mistakes that you wouldn't if you were older. Um, but when it comes to, like, this kid murdering 4 people, what would you guys say to that? Do you think that this is something that he's just, oh, I'm making some mistakes, or like, he's got to know what the fuck he's doing. Like, he has to. if you, even if you had some sort of a conscience, you would stop after the first murder, even if you're getting paid for this. I don't know. It's so weird to me. Hello.
Yeah.
I was waiting for buzzing.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Not much. What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just getting out of work. Yo, Faye, man. Hey, I'm loving this. I didn't know you had this in you, girl. Damn. I'm digging
Really?
the topic. Very good topic. I love it.
Thank you. I feel like a drowning dog up here. Like I didn't know. I don't know if I'm doing
Why?
good, bad, or anything.
In my opinion, you are doing amazing.
Thank you.
That is so cool. I just got out of work. I literally just stepped out the building and I had to hit you up immediately. I was like, yo, call her up.
Well, thank you because I missed your look. We had like a pit bull out here running around loose, and I was outside for like a good hour and 15 minutes trying to help these people chase down this dog. And
Oh,
when I came back in, I saw you called, and I tried to call you back, but I couldn't hear you. I don't know what you were saying to me.
oh,
I was. Do you remember?
oh.
Because you, when I
Yeah, no,
called you, I was.
I was at work, so I
Yeah,
think
that's
I
what I
tried to.
thought. I could hear you yelling, and I'm like, "Call you back, what?" And you hung up. I was like, "I'm just gonna send him the link. He'll figure it out."
Yeah, yeah, I was at work. That's
Yes,
crazy.
I
Yeah,
figured.
but yeah, great topic. I just want to call up and say what up. I'm on my way
Thank
home
you.
right now, so maybe
Okay.
I mean, I gotta go pick up my dogs and go walk them. So I'm
Yes.
gonna be listening,
Okay.
but I'll join you in a little bit. I gotta go take care of chores now that I'm done with work.
Yes. Make sure you do your handle your business and everything because we got to do our world tour.
Oh, girl, world tour is going on.
Damn. He was about to get into it, and it was like, nope, not today. I'll finish for him though. If you guys don't know, which you already should know, we are on the world tour. It was Italy last night. We finally got to get away from sucky ass France, but it was Italy last night, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say where we are tonight or not, so I'm going to keep that under wraps. But we're in a really cool place tonight. Still dragging the dead horse. It's going to be a blast. So definitely be over at Larry Beach's. He'll probably pop back in here. I'm not sure what time. It's usually like around 11, but you guys definitely need to pop up tonight because it's going to be really, really, really fun. It was fun last night, the night before. Every stop's been pretty good, actually. What happened?
Yo,
Hey,
yo.
you were about to go
Yeah,
in,
I
and it
don't
was like,
know. I don't know. I think I hung up by mistake.
I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna finish for him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm on my way home in a little bit. Let
Okay.
me. I'm gonna let you go, and I'll pop back up in the chat in a minute. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
One.
Thank you. All right, but yeah, like I was saying, so you guys have to go. You're gonna be over there anyway, more than likely, because we all go over there. So, but yeah. All right, that's pretty sure what Larry was gonna say. Trying to remember. Let me see. Where was I at? Where was I at? How's everybody's? Let me check the comments and see if there's anything in here. How's everybody's weekend going? How's the weather? I think I said hi. Let's talk. Yeah, you would think it'd be in Chicago. Chicago's got a bunch of. They always have stuff going on over there. Yeah, Tariq, right? Extremely young. I mean, okay, think about it. Like, I just can't. I just can't. 16, and he's already got 4 bodies, possibly 6. I mean, if he would have killed the other 2, it'd be 6. That's, gosh, oh boy. Okay, Let's Talk says my opinion with that is that the cop was in the right split. Oh yeah, with the girl, and that's sad, right? Too. I mean, that was so sad because they ended up finding out that it wasn't her that called the police; it was the girl in the pink that had called the police. because nobody could figure out, like, if she had called the police, why didn't she just stay in the house, till they came? Like, why'd she have to go outside? Because that, the only thing that sucks, right, is like when that cop pulled up, unfortunately, dispatch, if they don't have a description of who has the knife or who's the aggressor, he doesn't know. He just pops up and sees what he sees. And it's such a, that's one of those situations where, do you save the life of one and take the life of another, or do you take that chance where, I mean, it's crazy, because if the girl in your pink was your daughter, would you want that to happen? But if your daughter was the one with the knife, would you want, I mean, that situation is tough. Very, very tough. You're back.
Yeah, my fault. My wife called and yeah,
Oh, okay.
she not feeling good, and so I had to talk to her. See
Uh-oh, she
what's.
doesn't have COVID, does she?
Nah, don't say that shit.
Well, now it's like when everybody's like they don't feel good, that's the first thing people think.
Right, my stomach hurt. You got COVID?
Exactly,
I,
right? Like my eye itches, you got COVID.
right. Nah.
Crazy.
I hope not. Shit, but
I
nah.
know, right?
She don't. She had. I guess she's developed some sinuses or some shit. And, it's her. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, sinuses are a pain in the ass. My mom, she used to get real bad sinuses up north to where like it would look like somebody hit her in the face, like her face would get red. Like that's how like bad her sinuses would get, and she'd get headaches and stuff. How about I had no allergies, no sinuses or anything till I moved to Florida. I moved down here and then I get my ass kicked all the time with allergies and sinuses, and I'm like, what the hell is down here, okay? And when my mom came down here, all hers cleared up.
uh,
That's messed up.
yeah, I'm fortunate enough not to suffer for any sinuses or allergies. Not that I
Yeah,
know of. Not what I'm saying. 37
yeah.
years I've been living, I haven't been suffering anything. So
Knock
yeah,
on wood somewhere.
I know, right?
Let me tell
But
you, I don't. There's got to be something around in the yard out here, because every now and then I'll wake up and I'll just start sneezing nonstop for like 15 minutes, like just have a straight sneeze fit, and then it'll just stop, and like my sinuses will be like all bothered and everything. But it usually happens when the wind blows, so I'm like, okay, there's something around here messing with my damn sinuses, and if I find out what it is, I'm burning it. Like I don't care what, I don't care if it's in the neighbor's yard. I'm gonna chop it down, like burn it. I don't care, and then throw it in the lake.
hell no.
It's probably some sort of weed in the grass or something that like I won't be able to get rid of. That'll suck.
You think it's some weeds or some type of pollen or something?
Yeah, probably. Because if it's when the wind is blowing and like I don't know, I would think like if it's one of the bushes or one of the trees that we have, that it would happen all the time, you know what I mean? But it only happens every now and then, so it's got to be something that's like just, when it picks up and blows it around or something. I don't know.
Right.
It drives me up a wall though. I can't stand it. I know my oldest stepson, he's got allergies, but his allergies are so weird. He'll wake up, sneeze no matter where he's at, no matter what time he wakes up, he'll wake up and sneeze for like 10 minutes and then he's fine. It's so weird. I'm like, okay. Like I said, and it's weird because I used to think maybe it was like the dust in the air in the house or something. But when we moved, it was the same thing. Like no matter where he's at, he just has a sneezing fit every morning.
Wow.
I know he's different. He's special. But
What was you
y-
talking about before I got on it?
everything. I had already talked about well, okay, I'll go back into Kodak Black in a minute, but I was talking about do you remember when I had touched upon okay, let me see. Do you remember there was a guy that this happened this past December
Hey, how y'all doing?
and
Pretty good. woke up pretty much. Missed the day,
That's
man.
that's a damn shame.
Yeah, huh? I did, man. Yeah. Yeah, my fault, my neighbors.
No, it's okay. Um, but do you remember when I had briefly, I don't think it was on, it might have been on my channel, I don't remember, but it was this happened last December. So it was like maybe a month or two. I had talked about it where there was he was 20 and he called himself like a self-made comedian, but what he did was a bunch of trolling, and I think he would try to cover up his trolling by saying he was a comedian, but his shit really wasn't funny. But he was on Instagram and he had like a YouTube, but he ended up getting murdered. But what he had done was he made a video. You know who FBG Duck is, right? The rapper that got shot in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, right after that happened, I can't remember. I mean, it was right after. Like, I think it was like either the day after or 2 days after. This guy makes a video and he's dissing FBG Duck. He's dissing him. He's dissing, his whole clique. He's dissing the street he's on. He's like big upping like King Von and all that, right? Which is odd because this guy's in Philly and he doesn't know any of them. It's just strange. It's not like he's been, set claiming any other time. Like, this just was out of the blue. So he makes this video, I think it was like 12 minutes long, talks all this big shit, and then he goes to run some errands or whatever. And this was caught on camera. They were able to find it later because when it actually happened, they had just found him shot 15 times. They had no leads, didn't know who did it, da 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 da. And it happened right after he did the video. Like, I guess he went, like I said, to run some errands, and he's walking down the street and he had been shot. So word on the street was it was retaliation for him talking shit about Duck. Now, the police were saying they just didn't know. Because, like I said, he wasn't a gangbanger. He wasn't, about that life at all. So, nobody really knew what was going on, but everybody had kind of assumed it was because of Duck. Now, I was able to find out now because it's been, like 4 months later. They've been able to find cameras from people's doorbell surveillance and other surveillance pieces and put it all together where you can see him walking down this sidewalk, and he walks a good like 2 or 3 blocks and there's nobody else outside. It's just him, and it's during the day. And then all of a sudden they pan back, and the way they put it together, you see this other guy come out of nowhere. Like, he doesn't get out of a car. He just runs like from one street to the next street and gets on the same side of the street that this the Woo Biddy guy is on. And he starts running after him, right? And I don't know what happened, but apparently the guy must have heard him running up behind him, because all of a sudden, hold on, somebody's in the back.
Superman video. I was in the back. 50 Cent video. I was in the back.
Nice.
What up, Larry?
Yo, we got beef, Ramon. Don't try to be throwing out, man.
Yeah, what up, Larry? Salute.
We got beef.
I told Larry he's got to go back and watch how we held his show up for. How long did we hold it up for? Like, what, an hour or two?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep.
Pretty sure it's about an hour for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, hold this L, man. Do that shit. Y'all supposed to do that, man. I'll do the same thing for y'all.
I told him, I was like, you didn't tell us, like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, or I'm gonna walk the dog. He just straight dipped on us.
Yeah, that's how I get down.
For real.
Right?
It's all right. We held our own. You know what I mean?
Hey, I appreciate all y'all motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, salute.
Well, thank you.
Hey, what up? You working, Ramon?
Hell no, man. I've been sleeping all day, man. I've been in and out of naps and shit, man. I've just been eating and sleeping, man. That's
what I do on my days off. I take like 2 naps. I just be like, nah, I'm going to bed. Fuck that. That's what you heard. I'm going to bed.
But it was beautiful out though, man. It was 84 degrees.
No, if it's nice, I'll take my dogs to go to the park. I'll go, ride a bike. I'll go somewhere where activities happen outdoors. You know what I mean? But You
Yeah, I was
know.
supposed to barbecue and shit, man. I missed that, man. I'm like, fuck, man. But it's all good, man. I needed that rest, man. I've been grinding hard, man. So shit.
That's what's up.
Then we stayed up for
Grind.
like
Well,
12 hours on different lives and shit.
hey man, you know it be like that sometimes, man.
Hell yeah. But
I be catching myself on that bullshit. But listen, hey Fave, I just want to come up here and say what up. I'm gonna go walk the dogs. I'm gonna keep listening. I just wanted to,
Okay.
I just want to come up here and
Awesome.
say what up.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go back in the back. I'll be listening. I'm gonna go walk the pooches. I'll be back later.
Alrighty.
Hey,
Okay, we'll be
tonight
here.
we're going on the world tour tonight, Fave.
Yes, yes.
Are
I
you
was
gonna fall
speaking
asleep
about
on
that
me again?
earlier. No, listen, I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say where we were at or not, but I was telling them that it's a really cool place, and you know how we were in Italy last night, and we finally got
Yes.
out of stupid France, and
Yes. Fuck
we're still
France.
dragging the horse. Yes,
I
and
should do I should do the you know what? When I get out of here, I'm gonna put the reminder up. I'll put it up there
okay,
just to
yeah,
let the
do
people
that.
know. The world tour
Yeah,
still continues. It continues, motherfucker.
it
Hey,
does, it does, it does.
yeah, man.
hey. Let me put my Kid Murray voice. Well, did you miss me, motherfucker? Ah! Hey, everybody out there in the world that don't give a fuck, you should be rocking with me.
Damn right.
Hold this L.
Yes. Do you know what time that you're gonna do it? Like is it gonna be like
On
11:30,
my
11:45?
slot, man. 11:45. You know how I get down.
Okay. I was just making sure because I was gonna tell people earlier, but I didn't know for
It's the
sure. So
motherfucking drunken master. The fuck you think this is?
true, true.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys be. I'm gonna go walk the dogs. I'm gonna be listening. All right. When I come back,
Okay.
I'm gonna join the panel if you're still up.
True. Thank you.
All right, one. All right, Ramon.
All right, later, bro. Yeah,
Peace.
man.
Okay. So can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Okay, good. Like I don't know if you would notice, but sometimes when somebody drops off, it'll make your like connection really spotty. So some people have to like go out and come back in. So
Right.
all right. But like I was saying about the guy with the video footage and everything, you can see the man, he's all in black too. He ends up running up behind Woo Biddy. Woo turns around. Now, this is what's weird too. I guess I don't know if he heard him running up behind him or whatever, but because Woo Biddy took off running when he saw the guy running after him. So they're both running. All of a sudden, right, this is broad daylight. Nobody else is outside, which is it's so odd. But Woo Biddy ends up stopping all of a sudden, turning around, and at the same time that he stops and turns around, he's taking his phone out and jumping on Instagram Live. So by the time he turns around, he's just getting on live, and he's got the phone by his side still. Like I don't know, he must have just I don't know how he did it so fast, but he turns around and he says something to the guy because when he turns around and stops running, the guy stops running. So they're probably, but when the guy stopped running, he's still walking towards him though. So while the guy's walking towards him, I don't know if the Woo guy recognized him or knew what was happening, but he was like he says something and you can't really understand what he says, and the guy doesn't say shit to him. And then he's like he starts to pull the gun out from under his shirt, and Wu was like, hey man, we're on live, and then he just unloads on him. It's like because one of the cameras has sound and you hear like every shot, 15 shots he put into this boy. um
Oh
and
man.
yeah, after he shot him 15 times, you can see him running away. He runs back the same way that he ran up to him. Um, and they had no leads, like I had said. It's been unsolved the whole time or whatever. It was that, and like everybody agreed, it was a hit. For him to because he shot him in the chest and in the head. So all 15 of those shots were chest shots and head shots. Um, and I don't know if you know anything about like in the street sometimes or like even like cartel and stuff. Like if they'll make sure you're disfigured so your mom can't have an open casket type of thing. So people were kind of saying like that had to have been a hit, right? So that that was basically what happened to him. So that's the first murder, but I had touched a little bit on it, but it was a while ago because it happened in December. So bringing that up to speed, the next one that I had talked about was what was the other one? Oh, this was more recent. Do you remember when I had talked about the 20-year-old that had got released from jail, not prison, but jail, and he had walked across the street to the bus station to wait on somebody to come and get him, and he had got released at it was like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and 45 minutes after he got released, apparently a car pulls up and they start shooting at him. So he runs from the bus stop back across the street to the jail and runs in their parking lot, and they end up driving into the parking lot of the jail and shooting him to death. And of course,
Damn.
apparently yeah, right in the jail parking lot. Now get this, apparently the jail's cameras didn't work. And you know how you go into a jail parking lot and sometimes they'll have that arm where they have a security guard and they got to raise it up for you to go in the parking lot?
Yep.
Well, there was no guard and the arm was up. So no cameras were working. No sheriffs were outside. Nobody heard shit. Nobody saw shit. So they
Perfect
got it.
timing.
Exactly. So there were no leads to that. I mean, I can't believe how that man must have felt to be murdered in a fucking jail parking lot. And then they have no leads to who killed you. Like, my God. Okay, so those are two murders now, okay? With no leads or anything. All right. And then, what date was it when the apartment complex happened? Okay, that was March 11th. On March 11th, there
What
was a
city was this
quadruple
in again?
Philly.
Okay.
On March 11th, they're trying to catch up with Chicago. On March 11th, in an apartment complex, there was a quadruple shooting, and two of the people two out of the four that got shot died. The other two were in critical condition. I couldn't find out, because this happened March 11th. I couldn't find out if they were, okay by now, or what happened. So I'm gonna keep my eye out for that. But the two that died was a 24-year-old and a 16-year-old. So you've got basically 6 people shot, 4 murdered, and they're pretty random, right? Like, and there's no leads on any of them, okay? Like none of them. And these, you've got the one in December, then you've got March 11th, and then the other one was I forget, but they're kind of spread out. And I mean, I don't know what kind of detective work they got going on in there, but that kind of sucks. Like, you guys can't solve shit, right? So, on April 28th that just passed, right? The police announced that they have a suspect for these 4 murders. And the suspect turns out to be a 16-year-old boy. Yeah, and because he's a minor, they don't have any information about him at all. I forgot to tell you. The guy that got shot in the jail parking lot, they think that was a case of mistaken identity.
Wow. So
Yeah, he
did
took
all
that
that for
L
nothing?
for nothing. Yeah. And what's
Man.
crazy about that, is either the boy that they arrested is talking about it, or somebody, has given some sort of lead to where they found that out, because how else would they know that,
Exactly
Um,
right.
yeah,
It's
but that
probably
sucks.
some
I was like,
internet stuff that happened. You know what I mean? I don't know.
true.
Maybe gave up his information. I don't know. Like a lot of this stuff's happening because people going on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, whatever. Just it's all tied to internet stuff, and it leads into real life stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like
That shit has got to stop. Like, people are, I don't know, this
clout chasing.
yes, like, it's just And like we were talking last night, people don't fight fair anymore. It's not like, say, me and you got beef or whatever, right? And I'm on the internet talking shit, and I'm like, F you, Ramon, pull up. Like, we can fight right now. It's not like back in the day where you could meet up and actually have a one-on-one fight, and whether you win or you lose one. Like I said last night, you can barely fight where it's gonna be people not jumping you or fighting you with a weapon, and then say that you do get in a fight and you win the fight. Most of the time people are sore losers, and they're going to come back and either shoot you or try to do something foul to you just because you won. Like, now shit is so fucked up right now.
Yeah, man, the game's changed dramatically. You know, what I mean, the game is
Yeah.
it's not fair at all. It's like it's no fair ones these days at all. It's-
Well, one thing that we had talked about before, where I was trying to say that third world countries and stuff like that, they don't cherish or regard life like we do. They don't care. Everybody's expendable. They just don't value life like we do. It's almost like we're turning into that, to where people's lives just don't fucking matter anymore. You've got people that are dying and people are recording it instead of getting help. It's just, I don't understand where this shit is coming from all of a sudden, and it seems to just be getting worse. Like, people are turning into real fucking savages. Like, that shit is wild to me.
I'm a savage.
Yeah,
like like Meg the Stallion said me saying I'm a savage. That's what
right.
that's,
Sigh. Um, but yeah, so they ended up arresting this 16-year-old, and I was able to find out that they do have evidence to link him to all four of these murders. So they're not just pulling it out of their ass, or they're not, I don't know if maybe there's going to be another arrest, or, it's obvious that if he was the one that shot the Woo Biddy guy the 15 times, you could see right on camera he did it alone. It was only him. So I don't really know if, it might be only him that did all these, but, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, because this boy is 16 fucking years old. You're not even old enough to buy a pack of cigarettes. You're barely old enough to drive. You can't even fucking drink alcohol, and you're out there killing people, and not four people. It would have been six people if the other two at the apartment complex would have died, and I'm not able to find out how they're doing yet. But that shit is, like, I don't know if this is what I was talking about before you came up. I don't know if this guy is getting paid, because you know how, like, older people they'll hire juvenile to, like, pull a lick or do a hit, or because you can pay them. I don't know. Say you could pay a juvenile probably a couple $1,000s, and they think that's the shit. You know what I mean? Because they don't know. Um.
it's, pro-
So
it's all gang affiliated. That's what it is. Like they want to fit in with they click, and they like, oh, the more bodies I got, the more clout I got, the more, you know what I mean.
yeah,
Res-
but here's the weird thing, Ramon, about this. I would be right there next to you and be bigging you up and saying you got that's exactly it. But the Woo Biddy guy, he wasn't gang affiliated. The guy that came out of the jail, I couldn't. No, he might have been, but I couldn't find anything that said he was. And the apartment complex, I'm not sure about that either. So, and cops, they're quick to be like, "Oh, it's gang related, gang, 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 gang." They're so quick to say that shit. But I don't know. It's just weird. These seem to be more just hits, because these people aren't really connected. It seems to be, like I said, it's more like a paid hit.
oh, okay. Like, oh, okay, do do this bid, or I mean, not bid, but do this murder, and you know what I mean. You get this amount of money, or you know what I'm saying. Just
Right. You know
uh,
what I want to know?
hmm.
They had no leads to this guy at all. And like I said, it sucks when they're juveniles, because they don't release a lot of the information until after the court case is, once he gets sentenced and all that other stuff. So we're not going to know for a while. But I want to know what kind of evidence they ended up finding out to where they were able to link all four of these murders to this boy, because the one where he didn't broad daylight, okay, I could get that. You can, eventually be like, that's his build, because the cameras were really good. Like you could see almost everything. Um,
Well,
and
somebody had to snitch. That's like, 9 times out of 10, like that's usually what happens. So, a tip line. You know what I mean? They got tipped
well,
off. Or,
yeah, but on four,
mm,
see, and it's so weird because we're talking about people that aren't connected in any way. That's so weird. It's going to be weird. Like I said, I want to see what comes out
or he
to,
probably had ops. He probably had ops that snitched on him. I mean, yeah, we'll find out more. You know what I mean, as
yeah.
the days progress. So, but
That's true, though. He could have enemies that would have, but I don't know. He couldn't have been running his mouth that much, because for the one guy to be killed back in December and they had no leads to that at all for all these months. I don't know, though. I mean, it could have been something as simple as him thinking, because he's younger, he could have thought, like, oh, I haven't been caught in all this time, even though it's only been like, a couple months. He could have gotten a big head thinking that he got away with all that shit and started running his mouth. So, yeah, and then somebody snitched, or the wrong person heard him. You never know.
mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people do that. They think they laid low for a little bit, and him being young and not thinking, that, hey, I need to never speak about this shit. I mean, could you imagine if he would have got away with all that?
Oh yeah, he still be out here in the streets violating.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly. And you know what sucks too? I hope that it wasn't somebody just using him and paying him to do this, because his whole life is done. Whether he's a minor or not, he killed too many people to ever get out of jail.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to show what's that word? They're not going to show any mercy with
Right,
with him at all with that. Nah.
right. Especially how the Woo Biddy one, that boy wasn't fucking with you at all. You ran up behind him and just murdered him in cold blood. And the guy with the jail guy too. You know what I mean? So these are not instances where these people were taunting him or talking shit to him on the internet or any of that. Like, yeah, he's cold blooded. I'll tell you that, boy.
Mm-hmm.
To be 16, that he is definitely a killer. Whether he got paid or not, he doesn't have one fuck to give. I'll give you that much. He's emptying the clip on fuckers. Like, he doesn't care.
Man. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought that was, kind of cool that information finally came out to where at least two of the things that I had talked about before were actually, well, kind of solved, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's
Yeah.
an
I
update to
mean,
that.
I know
Go
this is
ahead, my bad.
no. Oh, my fault. I know it's a stretch. Sorry. Oh, jeez, man. My
You still
goodness.
tired? Damn.
Yeah, I'm still tired. I can hibernate. Shit, man.
I know
Man.
that's right.
But I know this is a stretch, but uh, I think what I mean. It's partially the blame in a sense to these new this new rap, man. This new genre of drill music and all this stuff is partially to blame, man. It's like if you listen to the lyrics or you listen to what they saying, man, they pretty much like
Right.
don't
Hey,
care,
Rich
man.
Mo.
It's I'm not fully blaming that, but it's like, man, like, put two and two together, like,
Well, you're right, because when younger people see, like when we were growing up, when you see music and you see the videos and you see the rappers or you see the musicians or whatever you want to call them,
mm-hmm,
we look up to that, and we you try to imitate what they wear and how they act and all types of shit like that. And uh like you said with the drill rap, like I get it. It's kind of like how gangster rap was when that came out, but I it's gone too god dang far to where, like, this is I get drill rap, I get it, I get what it's for, I get how it's here, but when it's, these kids have got to stop trying to be about a life that they're not really about. You know what I mean? Like, gang life is not some fun shit that you want to, like, be when you get a little bit older. Like, it's not, they've got to stop. I don't know. It's just, it's sad. It really is.
Right. And I know it's sad to say, but shoot, man, I said it before, but I don't like when Pop Smoke and King Von died. Like I didn't like. I'm keep it 100. I ain't feel sorry for him, man. Like I didn't. It was like what I mean. Like you bragged about, what I'm saying, killing motherfuckers, and then when it
Yeah.
happens to you, people want to be all sad and shit. Act like what you expect to happen. Like
Right.
when you rapping about it and you live that life, like what do you expect what's gonna happen? And people like, what I mean, I get it, what I'm saying, a life's lost and that's your fan and that's what I'm saying, that's your you got some sympathy for 'em as far as like, oh, that's your one of your favorite rap artists, or what I mean, that's, but it's like man, it's like when is that, it's never going to go away, man, because
Right.
I mean the industry loves that. The industry
Yep.
pushes violence in our cities and in our communities and stuff like that, and what I'm saying, and we going to, and unless we stop listening to it, stop supporting it, it's going to keep on, what I mean, happening to the point where we influencing these younger generation, the NBA young boys, the what I'm
Oh
saying,
God.
my sons, what I'm saying, they 16, and my oldest about to be 17 here in a month, and it's like, it's like their favorite artist is NBA young boy and some other cat down, I forgot, some new cat,
My
but
oldest stepson, I used to catch him doing NBA songs, and I'm like, "Don't you do that in my? I don't want to hear that shit." I was like, "That boy has like 6 kids. You better. That is not somebody you look up to. Damn it."
right. I told him, I was like, shoot, don't. That's not allowed in this house. You could listen to all that, but that NBA Young Boy, all that stuff, man. I'm like, nah, that's
Ooh, I told him I was gonna make him listen to Kids Bop until they were 17 or 18. I wasn't giving a shit.
how you remember that, kids. By
Hell yeah, it was funny. I was like, I'm gonna go on eBay and buy all those CDs, and that's all y'all get to listen to. That's it.
Radio Disney, and shit.
Hell yeah, exactly.
Disney Oz. I don't know.
Yeah,
Nobody remember that, but damn, man, I'm old. Man.
you're dating yourself.
Shit.
Well, and you know what? When you think about it, right? When gangster rap was coming out with like NWA and all that, they were talking about it because crime in the ghetto parts of the in the hoods, it wasn't talked about. It wasn't in the news. It wasn't in the papers. You didn't hear about it. So they wanted to get it out there and let people know like how fucked up it is. Now it's like you're getting oversaturated with it. Isn't that weird how it went from like, to where they wanted people to know how bad it was and how it really was. And now it's like you can't get away from it.
Right. Yep. Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And we're not talking about a long period of time. We're only talking about what? Late 80s to like now, like that, and it's gone from 0 to a million.
Right. I mean, it's like even in battle rap, like the first thing come out of their mouth, load this AK and pop your head off or something like that. Like I'm like, dang, nigga, like I
Yeah.
get it. What I'm saying, is I get the whole battle rap scene, with that, what I mean, but it's like, damn, man, it's like that's all we hear and listen to and see is violence, and what I mean, what what do we expect to come out of that? The outcome of that, peace, unity?
Right. Yeah.
Nope.
What do you think, like, say that they end up prosecuting this 16-year-old? What do you, if he's found guilty of all these, what do you think should happen to him?
Mm,
Like, do you think he should get like the death penalty, or do you think he should get like just jail for life? Or some people would say oh, he's so young, just give him like 20 years and then let him out, with a new identity type shit. Like, what do you think? Keep it real.
Keep it real. I think he should get like, he should serve life, man. It's like I know he's 16. It I would say it depends on how he was raised, because maybe he didn't have, proper, you know, uh people around him to teach. I don't know what his family situation is. Did he grow up with a
Right.
father? Did he grow up with a mother? How was his people, his environment, and stuff like that? But all in all, it's like, I believe that he should serve, minimum of 20 years minimum. I mean, you're not getting out at all. No good behavior, no parole, nothing. 20 years period. Because, like you said, those people that he killed, that he took off this earth, they're not coming back. I'm sure they got family that's feeling a way about that, and you got to take that into account. Like, you know a life gone from that affects, it's like, it affects a whole community. It affects a whole, a lot of things. So 20 years
Right.
minimum for sure. And then after that, uh
You're a better one than me. I'd be saying 40, 45 minimum because he's only 16. He could get out. He does 20. He'll get out before he's 40.
but he'd be on like I don't know if they got 20 years parole or something. I don't know if they got it that long. The longest I ever heard somebody being on parole, it was uh
I don't care
15
about
years.
probation or parole. That kind of a person is not going to give two fucks. If he's on probation, and if he spends say 20 years in prison, he's going to have that prison mindset. So he's going to, if somebody pisses him off, he's going to take their ass out and go right back to prison and not give a shit.
Probation, that's what I meant. Yeah, not parole. But oh, yeah, right. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's. I mean, but that's that's that person's decision, whether what you gonna do once you get back
Well,
into
yeah, but who wants to
society.
be the person he's going to be shooting or fucking up? Like, that's the thing I'm worried about. I'm not worried about what happens to him or his mentality. I'm more worried about the people that are innocent out on the street that he's going to be, messing with. That's what I'm worried about.
Right.
That's what, when it comes down to it, that's what I think about. I don't, I could give a shit less about, whether he sits in there and rots or whether he gets out, or I really don't care. But when it comes to protecting the public,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I care about. Because think about, if say one of your sons, he gets out, one of your kids happens to run into him on a wrong day and he just pops their ass. Like, you don't want that to happen. You got to
Right.
protect, the people. I don't know, but that's the
You're
biggest
right.
argument that they have when it comes to juveniles like that, because especially when they're 16, when they're 15, 16, they're right on that cusp of should they be treated or prosecuted as an adult or a juvenile. And that's the thing that people always argue back and forth about, or debate back and forth about.
Oh no,
Um,
I'm no, I don't got no debate over that. I most definitely think he should be. They should be prosecuted as an adult, because
okay.
you got the adult mindset of taking somebody's life. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're not a
Yo,
you're not a pre-adolescent. You know what I'm
What's up,
saying?
my boy?
what's good with it? What's
Yeah,
poppin',
you're
boy?
What up, Ness?
What's poppin'? What's good with y'all?
not much. We're up here talking about like some wild ass 16-year-old out there murdering people and shit.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, what y'all was talking about? Get to it.
Well, um we were just talking about whether, I was saying, how long of a sentence do you think he should get, because he literally like gunned down four people. It would have been six, but the other two, I think they lived. But he's only 16, right? So we're saying, like, I was asking King Ramon, does he think that he should go to jail for life, or should he get the death penalty, or should he do like 20 years and get out? And that's basically, he was telling me what he thought about it.
Okay. What do you think, Ron?
I said the bare minimum 20 years. Like you're not getting out, like you serving that full 20, and and whatever else they pin on you, that's that what I'm saying, you're gonna have to deal with that. But 20 years period, like you're not seeing society again for the next 20 years period. Like I'm sick of people getting off. They say, oh, you got 30 years or whatever, then they get off for good behavior at 10 years, 5 years, or some weak shit like that, and then they go out and do the same shit over and again, saying, and like what Fave said, like, right, what, you don't want him coming back out and hurting your family or somebody else's family again, you know what I mean? So
Well, and here's the thing too, right? Say he goes to jail for 20 years. He's only 16. So like I said, he'd get out before he's 40. He gets out, he's going to be so tainted, and he's going to hate the system even more. So he's going to come out knowing a bunch of foul shit that he learned in prison. He's going to be an angry person even more than he already was. And, oh no.
oh shit, man! To me, if that happened, if that was one of my family members, and I know he went to jail. Oh, he gonna be dead in jail though, for sure.
Ooh, oh my God, I'm glad you brought that up. Ding, 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 ding. Breaking news. Guess what that just made me remember? How about his
Yay!
family? His family, what somebody was able to find, like, on Instagram and Facebook when they were looking, at, somebody was able to find his page or whatever. How about his family is like real religious, and they are all BLM, and they like are against gun violence and all this other shit. And can you imagine when they find out who's been doing all the murders in their city and it's their own kid?
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. They gonna be like, what the hell? What type of kid we raised?
Yeah.
So he wasn't raised wrong, I guess.
No, he had a mom and a dad and everything.
Oh, you had. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking.
That's
All
where,
right.
yeah, that's where you get into when you can even start talking about, are people born evil?
Yeah, he should get like 40 years. Yeah, man, you're done, man. You know better, man. I could see like people out here, and that's not giving an excuse, but I could see people out here that's, what I mean, that wasn't raised right at all, and didn't have no parent, no guardian at all, and and and
Yeah, no, he doesn't have
society,
that in his
yeah.
corner. He had a good family upbringing and all that crap.
So he wanted so he wanted to do that just to, yeah, yeah, yeah. He got to go, man. Yeah, yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, that's,
Dang,
I forgot
I
all
didn't know
about that.
that.
That,
Wow.
yeah, my bad.
That changes things. Yeah, they should have different stipulations with that too, especially if you raised right and you was raised in a,
Yes.
what I'm saying, a happy home or whatever, or the parents did whatever they did they could to raise you right, and you would still want to be a knucklehead out here. Oh yeah, yeah, you gotta, yeah,
This nigga said a knucklehead.
That's why I was wondering too, where I was like, maybe he was getting paid to do it, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not saying like I'm excited, but I'm interested in what's going to come out during his court case to find out, like, what the hell was he doing, and
He pretty
was
much sounded like
somebody
a
paying
spoiled
him to
brat that
do
didn't
it?
get his way in the household, and he was like, you know what, I'm, uh, I don't
I'm
want
going to
to
go out
clean my,
here
I
and
don't
make a
want to clean
name
my
for
room,
myself. I'm bored.
right? I don't want to clean my room. No, I don't want to take out the trash. I don't know,
That's
man.
crazy.
I don't want to get good grades in school.
Uh, uh,
I want to be like my favorite rapper. You know what I mean? I want to be like them out in the street. I want to live that lifestyle. All right.
isn't that crazy, you guys? You hear about that quite often too, where like you know, you'll hear about like kids that have like a rich upbringing and all that, and they end up doing all this crazy shit just because they want to prove that they can be like I don't know, like about that life or some shit, when it's like you're still not about that life. Like I don't.
Right. You know what I mean? We got certain individuals on certain platforms that wants to come in the hood, but you was raised in a
Oh
privilege.
God, don't even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you,
Oh my
but
God.
you got a lakefront house. You got a beach, lakefront beach homes, and your great great grandfather owns.
Well, here's the thing,
Never mind.
okay? Like all the King Ramon, all the like, my parents didn't have a lot of money or anything like that. So we didn't live in any kind of good areas or anything like that. But all the people that I've known that live in, poverty areas, like you don't want to live there. You want to move out and you want to be in a better place. I don't understand why people that have money or like they think it's cool and they want to act like it's so weird. Like I don't know if they know that actual people that are poor or in the hood look at them like they're fucking idiots. Like it's not cool to try to rep that you're from the hood when you're not, because it's not fun, it's not cool. Like I don't get that shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like again, back to these rap artists. You know what I'm saying? Most of them are not in the hood. Pretty much most to all of them. Once they hit it big, like they still rapping that hood shit, but they not in the hood. They living like they're living like Chief Keef and shit, man. They're living like Jay-Z. They in the Palisades somewhere. They in the you know what I'm saying, they in the hills, or they, you know what I mean, they move out. They move out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? They ain't staying out
Right.
because they smart enough to know, like, yeah, if I keep rapping this hood shit, keep doing this the same, persona, to 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get gunned down. Like, I'm not gonna stay in the hood, you know.
Exactly.
So it's like we trying to get out of that situation. It's nothing cool about being
Right.
in the hood unless you're gonna change it. And that's the problem. And that's the problem too. A lot of things, you know, don't change in the hood, you know what I mean, because they don't put money in it. They don't put the right economic resources in it to change gentrification, the generations that's coming up, to be like, yeah, this is not the way to live. You could
Well,
be
I think that's a problem too, that a lot of it is generational, like you said, because I've had a lot of friends where we go to school together and everything, but say that their mom was on like the system or whatever and had a bunch of kids. It's almost like that's how their kid is going to turn out, you know what I mean? Because they don't. I've seen a lot of people, and it drives me absolutely mad, but I've seen a lot of people's parents be almost, I don't know if the right word is envious, but they don't want their own child to do better than them. So it's like they okay when they get pregnant young, and they, I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, it's happened to so many of my friends to where they don't tell them like, oh, you need to, you know, do anything to get out of here or do better, or go in the military, go to college, get a job, do a trade, do something, just get out of here. It's more like, oh, you want to, what do you call it? Drop out of school. Oh, that's cool. Oh, you want to just, get pregnant at a young age. That's cool. Like I've seen way too many parents okay that shit. And then it's
right.
just a cycle where it just keeps going and going, because you've got a grandmother that was like that. Then you have a mother that was like that. Now you have a daughter that's like that. Like it's just, unless they break that cycle, it just goes in circles.
Generational curses.
Yes. Yes. And that shit is very real because I've seen it.
And
That shit's horrible.
NASA, you stay in California, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
so
do.
you so like how the whole color scheme is still big out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't wear certain colors around different areas and shit, right?
Right on.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? That's another issue too, man. I'm like, damn, man. It's like I thought that shit would at least died off like the late '90s or I mean even the early 2000s, man. But I'm like, man, it's like, dang, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't even wear, you know what I mean? You can't even wear your favorite colors, the different parts of the hood or something like that without, you know, getting harassed or shot, killed. You know what I mean? Like that shit crazy, man. It's like over some colors, man. It's like I understand that shit back, you know, the whole originality of the gangs and affiliations with that back in the even way back in the late '60s, going up to the '80s and in the '90s. I get that, but it's like, damn, man. It's like, come on, man. It's like, when is this gonna stop, man? It's like, man. I don't know. I don't know, man.
You know
It's
what?
like,
Do you guys remember what was it called? Do you remember the program like Big Brother Big Sister where like
mm-hmm,
if yeah, you remember how like if you didn't have like a dad or if you didn't have like I don't know, some sort of like a role model or something like that that you could enroll and like these people would come and like take you to the park or like talk to you or take you out to places you normally wouldn't go to kind of like show you another part of life and all that. I wonder whatever happened to that because I haven't even heard about that in like years and years and years. Like I haven't heard about Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts. Like all these programs. Like I know the Girls and Boys Club is around. Like but down here they're never open. You know, like when all the rec centers were around and like all this other stuff for people to do when they got out of school. Like I don't see any of that shit anymore.
they closed a lot of that over here in Minnesota. They closed a lot of rec centers and parks and stuff. They have purposely cut off the nets on the basketball courts or
Oh wow.
chain them up and chain up the yeah, man. It's like y'all doing that on purpose because now where the kids gonna go? Like
Yep.
where they go? They're gonna be out in the street. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like they want that to happen so they could have their own agenda and try to make control, of
But that's
us.
crazy because I don't give a shit. I don't care how much they want that to happen. It's gonna end up like okay, what's kind of funny, right? If you've noticed, there's a lot of like what like we were just talking about, like rich kids, white kids, shit like that are trying to imitate this hood culture when it's like, haha, did it backfire or not? Now it's in your backyard, fool.
Mm, right. Now the meth and the crack and it's all in
Yep, you've
y'all's
got your
community
yep, you've
in the
got your
suburbs.
yep, your suburbs are filled with, hood wannabe heroin addicts and shit.
It's kind of like I don't know if y'all ever watched the series The Wire, but
Oh my god, yeah, I used to watch that.
it's kind of like the what that white boy was selling in the hood, whatever, was trying to fit in and says,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, man, Ziggy. I think his name was Ziggy, whatever. He was trying to be all hard and hardcore and shit like that. Ended up getting his ass whooped. Got his
Yeah, right.
Red Method Man was on there. Yeah, he got his he
What
took
was
it.
the other series that they put out? It was pretty good too. Wasn't it called like The Corner or something like that?
The corner, yeah. Yeah.
I like that one. That was a good one.
I thought it was supposed to be the prequel, or I mean, not a prequel, but what they call that? A spinoff
Sequel?
of a spinoff,
Oh, like a generic version?
yeah, of The Wire. But I don't think it was though. But yeah, that was a good series. So it's a little mini series. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, right. I
But
don't know. I mean, I don't really know. Like, if we sat back and they were like, okay, Ramon, NASA, and Fave, if you sit back and you guys come up with the answer to what we could do to fix this shit, like, what would you say? Like, what would you think would help a little bit of because I look at it like, okay, when you're talking about gangs and you're talking about, a lot of people would think, okay, people are joining gangs because they have a lot of time on their hands or they want to live that life or what. It's not only that though, because if you get into these really bad, fucked up areas of Detroit, Chicago, shit like that, like maybe even where you're at, King Ramon, especially like NASA, a lot of times some of these kids don't want to join, but because of where they live at, they have to or they get beat up every day.
Mm.
So, it goes deeper than what, certain people think. But if you had the choice to try to like implement something that you might think would, I don't know, help the young kids now, what would you think might help?
Mm. You want to go, NASA, or
I know that's a hard one, right?
Now you got that player.
hell nah? You got that boy.
Yeah, right.
No, but
That's one of those questions though that I guess like you would really have to like take a day or two and think about that shit. That's not one of those easy questions, you know what I mean? But I don't know, like I said, let alone just off the top of my head, like
most of it starts from the household. Most of it starts from home,
yes,
and it
yes,
starts having start have even if a person doesn't have a mother or a father, how about having just good people out here that really care about the youth and really care about kids to mentor. That's the word I've been trying to think of. Man, I'm still
mentor,
tired.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
have a mentorship and start opening back up these community based rec centers,
right.
and get them to do something. Okay, what I mean, find out what their talents are, like what their interests, their hobbies are, and focus on that and actually care for these kids, not 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 have government funded um um based programs, because those
Well, then
shits
you want to know
usually.
what I think what else needs to change too is that you know how with the welfare system, the more kids that you have, the more you get back on your taxes, and the more you get in food stamps, the more you get in Section 8, the more you get. Bullshit, stop that shit. If you don't stop it all together, then like make sure that after a 2 kid minimum, you don't get paid anymore. That's your cutoff. Like they've got to, it's ridiculous. Like when I went to college, I was like, trying to get food stamps or whatever, because you're in college, you're broke as fuck. But I was like, the guy told me,
You
he
eating
was like,
ramen noodles, huh? You eating ramen?
for real, right? But he told me, the guy at the food
You
stamp
eating
office,
me?
he told me, he was like, I'd be able to give you $5 a month. He was like, but if you drop out of college, come back, I can give you $200 a month. And I looked at him and I was like, you're trying to tell me that if somebody's trying to actually better themselves, that they can't, there's no assistance out there. And he just looked at me and was like, there isn't. He was like, if you don't have kids, you don't get shit. And I just found that so crazy to me that if you're, and then they wonder why our shit is so fucked up now, because you get rewarded the more illegitimate children you have. You don't get rewarded if you're married or if you have a man in the household. Matter of fact, if you have a man in the household, you can't get fucking benefits. So
I know
you've got.
that's spooky,
Yeah,
man.
well, think about it. Okay, say me and you were together, King Ramon, right? And say that we got like, I don't know, say we have one kid, but we're not married and we're together. And then say that you work a job and you're bringing in a pretty good amount of money or whatever, and I stay home take care of the kid. Say you get hurt at work, and now we don't really have an income, right? Well, if I get rid of your ass, and which you're a man, you can get hurt, you might get in an accident and can't work, whatever the case may be. I can get rid of you and I can have a check guaranteed every month. I can get my rent paid, my medical paid. I can get, everything, all that taken care of just if I get rid of you. And then they wonder why all these houses are broken up and shit. That's why. Because a man is a regular human. They can have accidents, they can get hurt. But, if you could get a guaranteed check from that government every month, what are you going to choose?
Right. You're gonna choose option B. Shit.
Right. Exactly. And it's fucked up, but that's how it is. And then you've got these and I well, you know how it is nowadays to where people don't get to know each other before they end up getting pregnant and having kids with people. So you've got a bunch of people that end up pregnant by people they don't even fucking know. So they end up not together by the time the kid's here. And then you've got the mom or the dad bashing the other parent, So then that kid's gonna be raised up to hate their dad or hate the, mom or whatever situation they're in. Then when they get older, they're not gonna respect men because they heard all these women talk bad about men, how men ain't shit and all this other stuff. It just snowballs, and that's why just it's so fucked up now. Also, think about it. When you've got people that aren't working and then you grow up and you don't see a work ethic in the household, right? Where both parents are working or one parent is working, that kid doesn't grow up wanting to work. So if you're a kid and you're young, that now you get people that just want to rob other people. They don't want to work. They don't want to finish high school. They don't want to go. It's just so fucked up right now. Ugh.
Yeah, and especially like with
But
the
I think that
situation
that's
with
something that they
COVID.
need to stop.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. They
with
need
the
to
hybrid
stop
with the hybrid
rewarding.
learning. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
oh,
they
go
need
ahead.
to stop. Oh, but I was saying they need to stop rewarding the more kids, the more money. They need to start rewarding you if you want to go to college, if you want to go to the military, if you want to go get a trade. They need to start taking care and funding those kids instead of saying, "Oh, if you get pregnant at 15, yeah, you could just get a check from the government." What? What? And then the more kids I have, the more money I get. I just got to sit on my
Oh,
ass.
you just hit it right on the head. Yeah, trades. We need more apprenticeship
Yes.
programs out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick of going to these jobs and they be like, "Oh, you need experience." How a 16-year-old, 17-year-old is going to have the experience already before
Yes.
they even hit that job? Like, are you nuts?
Yep.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
you need 1 year, you need 1 year of experience, whatever. Or even like when you 18 or 19, like you need 1 year or 2 years experience of that. How about you train people
Right.
to on the job training? That's not even prevalent anymore. And that
You're
goes to
right.
show you how how dumb these supervisors and these managers are, because they're not even, you know,
Yes.
eligible to train, other workers on that, because they just got that job just because they worked there long enough, and they just got it just based off seniority or rank, whatever, like that. So
Right.
it's, that needs to change too. Like I remember when I was growing up, they was on the job training. Like they'll train you, like you get a
Yes.
job and they'll,
Yes.
yeah, apprenticeship. It's like,
Yeah,
man.
they need to do that because like where you could have put like down here, like the air conditioning and slash heater people and like electricians. Oh my God.
Yeah,
You know how much
HVAC and electric.
electricians
Yeah.
make an hour? Like, any kind of AC work or any kind of like electrician work, like that would be your apprentice jobs. Like, you know what I mean? It like you said, come on, like, give these kids an opportunity. Like,
Or
Jesus.
carpenter, do carpentry,
Yes, yes.
mechanical,
Yep.
uh, landscaping, that all that's is what they call that, the jobs that are needed, that won't go away. um
Landscaping down here is the one job that everybody does that you don't need shit to start. So that's the one thing in Florida you don't want to push. I'll tell you that much because everybody's doing that down here.
yeah, I was going to get into landscaping, what I mean, I'm still, it's in the works, what I'm saying. I don't, so, what I mean, I'm hopefully, I get into that business, but that's not here. I really want to do that when I'm because I'm
Don't
transitioning.
say doing it down here because you're going to be screwed. You try to listen. All the people down here that have any kind of felony record or anybody that just doesn't have experience to get a job, they do landscaping. Like it's so
Oh, for real?
saturated down here. Yeah, because it's all year round. We don't have a winter really. So it's you can do well in the winter. Okay, say during the summer and during the spring, you might mow the lawns like every week and a half down here, maybe every week. During the winter down here, you would mow it maybe every 2 weeks, every 2.5 weeks. So it doesn't snow or anything, but it does slow it down a little bit. But yeah, it's so saturated down here. Like I said, everybody that is illegal down here does landscaping. Everybody that has a felony does landscaping. Everybody that like I'm telling you, it's so bad that literally people come to your door and knock on your door and leave cards at your door like every day, every other day. People are doing that, like because it's so people are fighting for lawns.
Right. And I want to take my me and my father in the painting business too. So,
Now
and
that'd be a good idea if you want to paint
yeah,
like down here because the sun just beats the shit out of anything that's outside. Like if you want to do like outdoor painting or stuff like that, like definitely would be something that's a good thought. Or pressure washing. But
yeah.
then again, pressure washing.
I don't do the paint. Well, I do paint, but or I do know how to paint, but I haven't painted because I do estimates. Like I go out and find the jobs, you know what I'm saying, for my pops and for his crew to do. Like I go out different, like, you know what I mean, I'm pretty much like a marketing specialist, and I do estimates and stuff.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean, and so but I haven't, I mean, I kind of want, if I do go down there, I'm like, do I really want to paint? I'm like, nah. If anything, I'm just going to just stick to my custodial work, because like I'm going live tomorrow. I'm talking about that. It's going to be like a new series I'm going to do. It's called Florida Bound, and it's going to be the first episode, just me talking about transitioning to Florida and where to go and
Oh my
stuff.
god.
And yeah, oh, you can help. Oh man, that'd be cool if you can help me out.
No.
You said no.
No.
You said no.
I'm not gonna help you come down here. It's horrible down here.
Oh no, don't say that.
Listen, if it was really good down here, I would stay down here. I'm telling you, right now, it's so. Listen, Florida's always been bad with jobs because, like I said, everybody wants to move from to Florida from up north. If you're, I don't know, if you're able to somehow get in a good niche, I don't know. I mean, you never know. Like, say that me,
But
you,
I
and the
got a
wife.
supervisory role in the custodial. You know what I mean? I'm a head supervisor, so you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
but guess what sucks? You
what?
know, there's barely any schools open down here.
Yeah. I did check. Like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did check. I've been checking a few of, like, there's I forgot the county, but I see some. It's in Kissimmee. And there's another one in Orlando. I don't know. For some reason, I like Kissimmee. You said not. You told me not to.
That Kissimmee is really small. I mean, well, like okay, I look at it like, especially when you're moving, I look at it like the bigger the place, the more opportunities you have. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to do something along custodial, like I would try to go to Fort Myers because over Fort Myers you've got Naples, you got Sanibel Island, like, and everybody over there has a fucking buttload of money. Like, I mean, you
Mm,
know, you've got places over there where you could do maybe two or three people's mansions a week, and that would be what you do for to clean. Like, I mean, it's outrageous over there, but um it's, you know, I love Fort Myers. Like, I don't know, if I don't move up north, that would be where I would go. But um you know, you don't want to be stuck somewhere like Kissimmee where you're kind of limited and you already are coming down here and you don't really know that much about, you know, Florida. Like I said, it's, if COVID wasn't going on, you know what I mean, it'd be better, but it's just such a bad time right now.
yeah, I'm just at a point where I'm just done with Minnesota. I wore, like, I you know what I'm saying, I made my stamp here, and I'm just like done with, the snow, and I'm done with, what I mean, the
I'm trying
politics.
to go back up north. Have you ever tried to think about like maybe just trying somewhere else besides Minnesota, but maybe not like all the way down? See, like I said, like Florida, us northerners for some reason, you know, we think Florida is like what we see on TV and shit. And once you live here, once you get down here and you're in the shit in this shitty ass place, if you don't have money, it it's hard. Like, it is hard. You know, because you're basically just working, 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 trying to stay afloat. And thought my dog was having an issue over there. But I don't know. I just don't want you guys to come down here and then like have it go left. Like you want to make sure that you really plan and make sure it's definitely like, I mean, I'm down here so I could like help you guys because I'm not, I'd definitely be, want to help you guys. I wouldn't let you come down here blind. But I want to make sure you guys are definitely prepared. You don't want to come down here on a whim or not plan enough and have some sort of security blanket to where you get down here and you're stuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, right now, Florida is normally pretty fucked up for jobs. And then when you throw COVID on top of it, it's even worse. It's even worse. Like, because I had went around looking, for jobs for a while. And then like, I was just like, I gave up because I was just like, there's nothing. Like, there's nothing.
It's like you talking about like the competition is way up there as far as getting
Well,
jobs.
it's because COVID has just killed a bunch of shit. And so, you've got people that normally had like, I don't know, business jobs or, other jobs that got now they're not working because of COVID, and now the unemployment's starting to run out. So you're fighting them for work. You know what I mean?
Mm. Okay.
I
Yeah.
always used to say that if I could get a job like on the beach, I wouldn't care if I lived in a cardboard box. I would be so happy because I love the water.
Yeah, right. Like that's like me, man. Like I love the outdoors. I love, I mean, the environment, the weather that Florida has. Like that's all me right there, and my wife loves it, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Well,
it,
I would suggest, and it's just
yeah.
a suggestion, but you
Hmm.
guys have been down here the one time, right? Like recently?
Well, that was my fourth trip down there, but altogether
Where
as
are the
a
other
family it
places
was
you
our
went?
first
Or
time.
has it been like what's the other places in Florida you went? Or did you guys go to the same spot?
We've been to Tampa, we've been to Miami, I've been to Orlando, been to Kissimmee, Fort Lauderdale. We've been
Fort
to
Lickerdale.
Fort what?
Fort Lickerdale.
Oh, why you say that? Cause liquors,
That's
or
just
or,
what they call it. I don't know.
or they
Everybody
got a
over
lot,
there.
or they got a lot of lesbians.
No. Liquor like drinking, not like licking.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, you trying to tell us something, Faye? Like,
No, don't take your 50-50 ass over there. It's not what you think.
darn, darn it. But yeah, as a family, as a collective, as a family, that was our first time being down there. But for me, as an individual, as me personally, that was my fourth time being in Florida. So,
Okay. Yeah, it's a shame you haven't went to Fort Myers before. Like I said, I love Fort Myers. I like Fort Myers because it's a big city, but it's still really clean, and like the beach over there, they keep it open 24/7 and it's clean. Like okay, when you go to the cities, especially up north, there's always like a bunch of trash all over the fucking place. There's always construction everywhere. There's always like a bunch of bullshit going on. Fort Myers is not like that. It's just really, they keep it up really, really well because, like I said, there's a lot of money over there.
hmm.
So, like Sanibel Island that's over there, oh my gosh, some of the richest people in Florida live over there. And it's literally like people will live on that island because they work there. Like there's so much money on that island, like, and you can't go on that island unless you live on it or work on it. Like it's that private.
Wow.
Yeah, like I've never been over there, but like I've had people that have went on there and they tell me and I'm like, that's crazy. But yeah, like I said, if I don't go back up north, then I'll be in Fort Myers. That's the only other place I would go. Because Tampa, let me tell you, Tampa reminds me of like an up north city. You know what I mean? Like, and it's got the shittiest weather. Like, it's always raining over there.
Mm. Okay.
It is. I don't know why, but it's always like raining. They get hit with like every hurricane. Like it's pretty shitty.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from that hurricanes and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want. I don't want to deal with that at all. Is we deal with tornadoes in Minnesota a lot, but yeah,
I'll
hurricane.
tell you one thing. I'd rather deal with a hurricane than a tornado. You know that. Listen, people down here have the nerve, right? Oh my gosh. They'll be like, "Oh well, we have tornadoes in Florida." I'm like, "Bullshit! You guys have like water cyclones and that pan out for like 8 seconds, or you might have a tornado. You'll hear about a tornado maybe every couple of years that'll like hit somebody's farm in the middle of nowhere, and that's it. Like it doesn't do hardly any damage. Like it's like what tornadoes do y'all have down here? Come on now."
Right.
I'm like, it was funny because I told my one friend, I was telling her, I was like, bro, tornadoes up north are like you got to go in the basement and pray for your life type shit. The whole sky turns a different color, like cows and semis are floating around. Like, no.
It's like that movie Twister.
Okay. That's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, it's definitely different down here. I know that one thing that tripped me out about Florida too, right? This was in Fort Myers too. There's a part of the year where it's called stingray season. So if you go out to the beach and you go in the ocean, you've got to drag your feet when you walk in the sand because it stirs up the stingrays, so they'll just go out of the way. And I always thought that was kind of cool that like, it's so different from up north. You got to like kick a stingray's butt so it'll move out of the way so you can swim, but
That's crazy. They'd be right on the shore by the sand.
like right where like okay, say how the water is the minute you walk into they bury
Oh,
themselves in the
gotcha.
sand. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you drag your feet to like stir them up, and they're not a threat or anything, like, so they just go about their business.
That's how
I
what's the
know.
name died, right? He died from a stingray.
Yeah, no, that's why, listen, those things are so docile. That's why I always said that when he had gotten hit by one of those things and it just happened that the stingray had went in between his ribs and hit his heart, I was like, man, it was his time to go. Like I think God was like, you know how he used to put his head inside an alligator's mouth and shit like that.
Right, cranky. Right.
Yeah, like I'm like he was like testing it so many times, like he just, I don't know, that was crazy because it just doesn't happen. Like stingrays don't do shit like that unless they're threatened. And the fact that it threw its stinger and its stinger went, like I said, where it went, it was just, that's like when it was time for that to happen.
You laugh. Must up.
Yeah, or that's extremely bad luck. I don't know. Like that's crazy.
I think it's a little bit of both, yeah, because that was like crazy. I'm like, what a stingray? I'm like, usually they don't really mess
Yeah,
with
like if you
people
go
like
to
that.
SeaWorld and shit, you can pet them and like, like hold them and shit. Like they're very docile.
Yeah, I love SeaWorld. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I seen the original whale before it died. I forgot the name of it. What's the name of the whale?
Oh, damn. What was the name of that whale?
Damn. I just had the name too. But yeah, been to SeaWorld too. Yeah, that was fun, man. Yeah. Yeah, I have
Oh my God. Did you hear about the guy? I
mm-mm.
don't remember when this happened, but it wasn't that long ago. There was a guy, and apparently he had like, he was a little bit slow, like not very slow, but he was a little bit slow. And apparently he like, I don't know, lost his shit one day and he broke into SeaWorld when it was closed, and he wanted to go swimming with the killer whale. So he jumped in there with it, and the killer whale like was playing with him like a toy, and of course he drowned and died, but like, it wasn't the whale's fault, but like literally, yeah, he like broke into SeaWorld and committed suicide by whale.
Watching too much Free Willy, man. That's what happened.
You know what's crazy now that you mentioned that? The parents had said that he was like fascinated by the whale, and like he was watching like nonstop documentaries about like, the whales at SeaWorld and shit. Like so yeah, I guess he had some sort of whale fetish or something, but yeah.
A whale fetish. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I guess okay. You know how you went to SeaWorld. You know how the whales will like they'll push the divers and like throw them up in the air and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So when he jumped in the pool with the whale, that's what the whale was doing, but he didn't know what the fuck was going on, so it drowned him. Like,
Oh, he didn't know the commands, or like he wasn't like,
right? Yeah. Yep. Crazy.
oh.
At least he died doing what he loved.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to go. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go out, crazy like that, like,
You ever notice how people end up doing that? Like, how in the fuck did he break in? As much you can't even sneak into SeaWorld during the day without, your fingerprint and paying the money and getting a band, all that other shit. How did he do that?
he
They
must have
not
like
only
really like scoped that place out and was like,
I'm
okay, if
telling you, not only did he get in there, but he got in the damn pool and everything. Like, what the hell?
damn.
That's like, did you hear about the guy? I know you had to have heard about this because this was on the news. I want to say it was like a year or two ago where the guy ended up, he was a what do you call him? He was a baggage handler at the airport where he ended up getting in the plane and flying it around before he crashed it.
Nah. What?
Come on, I know you heard of that.
He got inside the cargo, or he got
Bro, okay. One morning, right? This guy was a baggage handler at the airport. He would take the luggage from the plane to the baggage thing or the baggage thing to the plane. So I guess one morning when he was getting ready to load the baggage onto the plane, there wasn't anybody on it or anything, right? But they found out later that I guess he was depressed and like he had some issues going on or whatever, but I feel bad for him, but I'll tell you why. So I can't remember how old he was. He was either late 20s or early 30s, but so he ends up getting in this full-fledged, like, 247 jet, gets into this bitch. It's fueled and everything because it's getting ready to fly somewhere. He gets in it and takes off, right? So the air traffic control is like, what the fuck? Like, and they're trying to make contact with him, right? He's doing like donuts and shit and all, and all this other stuff. He does like a side roll and they finally get a hold of him and he's like, they asked him, right? Because they were like, well, what are you doing? He was like, oh, I'm just kind of, like flying around out here. And he was like, I can't remember. He was just talking so nonchalant. And the people in the air traffic control, they were like, well, we can help you land it, because eventually you're going to run out of fuel. And they had to clear all the other, planes out of the way and all this other shit for him.
right.
And he was like, well, how far away is this place? And how hard would it be for me to get there? But he was like, he was basically telling them like, okay, I'll land. I just want to do a couple more tricks. So the air traffic control was like, well, you must know how to fly. He's like, no, I've just played a bunch of Call of Duty. I was like, oh my God. So literally he was up there flying this fucking jet with no experience whatsoever.
Wow.
Doing circles and 360s and shit. And it was sad though, because eventually he got to where the fuel was getting low and they were like, okay, well, we're gonna clear everything so you can land and we're gonna tell you how to do the controls so you can land because they got autopilot and shit like that. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna do one more trick or something like that, and he ended up taking her way up in the air and
Yeah.
he did one last like barrel roll and nosed over right into the ground. Yeah, he gave the man a big middle finger that day, boy. He took that whole because those jets cost a fuckload of money too.
Right. Dang.
I'll have to look up like one of the articles and I'll send it to you because I was like, damn, that's crazy.
No, I never. That's my first time hearing about that. That's wild. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he went out like a G.
Right. Oh shoot, man.
I never knew, since we're talking about planes and shit, I never had known that there was a thing called like pilot oh shit. I want to say pilot suicide, but it's something else because it's where the pilot will actually want to commit suicide and they'll take down all the passengers and everything with them. I never knew that that's actually a fucking thing. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Man, I ended up going down the rabbit hole on YouTube one day, and like, I was okay. I'm gonna do a show on this, so I don't want to tell too much. But I was researching about this system that was put into, these passenger planes, within the last 5 years, and the system was actually nosediving planes, and people were dying and everything from it. So I ended up like a bunch of stuff about, you know how YouTube is, like certain things will pop up or be recommended or whatever. I ended up pressing a video, and it was about uh, what is it? That Malaysian flight that disappeared. You know that one, right?
Yeah, the 727 or one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Malaysia. Yo.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
Malaysian Airlines, whatever. So I ended up watching a documentary on that. And it was an Australian documentary, and they were breaking it down, trying to figure out what happened to it and everything. And they actually did a bunch of research on the pilot and his life and all this stuff. And they thought that I think he had just got divorced and like all this other stuff. So they were thinking that maybe he had done that pilot suicide thing because the way that they originally thought, where it went down, they figured out that it didn't go down there, that it ended up, he circled around here and went around here and everything else. He ended up flying it until it went out of fuel, allegedly. But everybody was like, if that's true, right, and he didn't take it down right away, how come once they reached a certain altitude nobody was making any phone calls, like from the phone in the plane that like the attendants can use,
Yeah.
or cell phones or whatever? Like, how come not one passenger made contact with anybody on land? And so they were thinking that there's a button apparently in the cockpit where you can release all the air pressure in the cabin, and if you do that, it would immediately took all the oxygen out of the cabin and killed all the passengers within seconds. So they're thinking that like that's what he did. Like not too long after he got up to altitude, he probably basically just took all the pressure out of the cabin, and he would have been okay because he's in the nose, and just drove around till the fuel went out and he took her down. But
That's crazy. They even got a button like that. What the hell?
I know, right? Isn't it? Well, and it's not to do that type of shit on purpose, but
Right.
it's meant to, like if something goes wrong, like if there's a fire or something like that, they could take the air out of it and suffocate the fire out, like, things like that. But I mean,
but that's
yeah,
that's crazy how they got like a like that.
yeah,
You push the
exactly.
wrong button, like it's a wrap, man.
Right? Think about this. There's a thing, because right after that I watched another one where it was a German flight that was going from here to Germany, and one pilot was German, the other one was American, and apparently the German pilot had some episodes, and he was actually just put back on flying, like the okay to fly. But he had like a I don't remember what it was, but he had some sort of bad thing to where he wasn't allowed to fly for a little bit, like depression wise, like he had made a suicide attempt or something like that. So this was like the first damn flight he was allowed to go on, and because it happened in the German what do you call it, like their airlines,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't tell us. So you've got the American pilot that knows nothing about Psycho Boy over here next to him, right? So they end up flying and everything's going fine. I think they had like 200 some people on board. And the American pilot was like, "Hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back." Now, ever since September 11th happened, they changed the cockpit and how all that works and everything, right? So apparently now, say if you're walking into the cockpit and you're opening the door, they've got a lip on the side of the door to where like you can't break it, like it's even if you tried to like ram into the door or whatever, that lip's going to keep the door from bowing in. Like okay, have you ever been around like places where they get broken into a lot? So like where somebody might stick a knife or something in the door to try to break through the lock, they've got like a metal piece over so you can't do it.
Yeah, I seen those. Yeah.
Okay, picture like a long one that goes from the top of the door to the bottom. So that's how
yeah,
that was.
yeah. You
Yeah,
can't.
so reinforces the door. So like if you're batter ramming it or whatever you're doing, you can't get in the door. Now, so there's that. They also put a thing that's in the cockpit and a like a number pad on the outside. So say if something happens to the pilots on the inside, you could enter a code on the outside of the door and it would open the door. But even if you know that keypad number, the pilot on the inside has to press a button to allow you in. Like they've made it to where there's like 4 or 5 different things where the pilot can keep people out of this cockpit now. So remember that.
Even the
The
sheriff,
American
even the sheriff that's on the plane too.
Yeah, I guess there wasn't one on this one. I have no idea, but that wouldn't have really helped anyway, I don't think.
Right.
I don't even know if they do that. Like I heard they're supposed to, but I don't know. I really haven't done any research on that. But he ends up saying he's going to go to the bathroom, right? And he ends up going and using the restroom, and they found the black box to this so you can hear it, which makes it even worse. But he goes to the bathroom and you can hear him come back, and he tries to like go in the cockpit, and the guy's not opening the door for him, so you can hear him like enter the keypad, and he's not letting him in. So he starts to like knock on the door, and he's like, hey, what's going on? And all of a sudden you can kind of hear people like like being getting like restless, because I guess he's starting to change the altitude of the plane, and he made like a hard left before he started to nosedive the goddamn plane down into the mountain. But he makes this hard turn, and so I guess the American pilot, starts like yelling at him like, let me in, and you can hear him start to like bang the door with his shoulder and everything. And you can hear the people start screaming and yelling, and like all this shit's going on, and then all of a sudden it like just goes like like it is crazy. He took it right down into the side of a mountain and killed like 307 people.
Did they have the black box recording of the pilots and everybody on there? Did they release that?
Yeah. And the whole time, guess what? All this shit's going on in the like the whole time he was in the cockpit, he didn't say shit. Like you can hear, because they've got recordings in the cockpit, and then they've got recordings out in the where you sit at and everything, and you can even hear him breathing. Like he just sits there and doesn't say shit the whole time.
Can you imagine being on that plane and
Let me tell
the
you
last
something.
moments, and you about to die, man? That's
I hate, like, I'm a Scorpio, and I hate shit that I don't have control of. Like when it comes to planes, like I'll get on a plane. I've had to get on a plane, but I don't like it because and I hate the people that are like, oh, you're more likely to die in a car crash than you are a plane. Bullshit. Wait till I do the show that I'm going to do on this, man. Okay, so I don't like planes. They freak me out because like turbulence and shit, that, man. And nowadays,
that was freaking the shit out of my wife, because that was her very first time flying.
oh really? Yeah, you hit one of those air pockets, boy. It feels like the bottom drops out under you.
Yeah, she was like holding on to the other the seat that's in front of her. Like she was like, it was funny. It was
That is
funny,
not
man.
funny, King Ramon. That shit sucks when you when you're not comfortable with that shit. That sucks.
I was used to it because I fly, but not like frequently. But what I mean, I'm used to that shit. So I'm just looking at her. I'm concerned about her, what I mean. But at the same time, that shit was funny. I got some recordings of that too. I got her freaking out, but
no,
I couldn't release that to the public.
You ain't shit.
unless Maine, what I'm saying, the highest bidder, what I'm saying, Larry or Maine won it for like $300. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord. But I know that that was a thing too. Like after I was looking into this or whatever, they say that if you're at regular flying altitude, it takes, I think it's 3 to 6 minutes for a plane to crash. So say that you lose engine power or some malfunction, or even if the asshole pilot's taking it down, you're literally going to know you're going to die for 3 to like 6 minutes. And I can't imagine. Do you know how long that would be? And you can't do shit. You cannot do shit. You're literally like
I'm going to jump out at the last second before it crashes. I'm just going to jump out and just roll.
Listen, do
do
you
like.
know there was a guy that actually lived doing that? There was one guy,
Oh, for real?
because when I go down the rabbit hole, I go deep, okay? And I actually found this one crash. Now, but here's the thing.
She said.
When they had crashed the plane, it didn't go like, okay, the pilot was good enough to where when they had lost engine power or whatever, he tried to glide her all the way down, because you know the best chance that you've got, you don't want the plane to you know, just crash into the, you want to try to let her lose as much altitude as she can. So if you can, you know, like glide it or free, you know, like just like a bird, kind of like glide it into the ground, you know, as easy, as gentle as you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you have a chance of living at all. So like he was good enough to where and he ended up, the pilot passed away, but he was good enough to where he was able to slow her down enough to where when they hit the trees, then they hit the ground, and it had ripped the plane in half, like it broke in like 3 different pieces. And the guy said, he was like, I saw green and I jumped. And like he ended up with like a broken leg and like a couple broken fingers, but he was the only one that lived out of that whole plane.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'd rather escape with some broken, you know what I mean, leg or whatever than be, you know,
Yep.
the other way around, you know? Yeah. Wow. That'd be totally me. Like, I'd be on my action hero action movie shit, man. I'd jump
Bro,
out.
do you know this is horrible, right? But like
I'd drop
I've
and
always
roll.
thought like about on September 11th, if you were above the impact zone and you had to make a choice of whether you were going to burn or jump, what would you do, right? And I was always like, I'm one of those people where I would try anything and everything before I could actually like, you know, like I would never be able to jump. Like I would always think up until the end I would have a way to like get out of it, you know?
You're right.
And dang, Pico de Gallo's over here snoring his ass off. But I'm like one of those people, right? So I was saying like
Probably
that
sound like
I
me
would try
earlier.
to like, yeah, right. I was like you know, because people would ask me like, oh well, you wouldn't be able to do that because what if the building started collapsing? And I was like, I don't care. I would try to surf or like, you know, I don't know. I would just not lose hope until the last minute. Okay. Well, my friend, she ended up when we were talking about it in one of my classes when I was in college one day about it, right? So she ends up finding this picture. I can't believe she found this picture. um Oh boy. It's I don't know if I've still got it. I'll have to try to see. And it's a real picture. It was taken by one of the news people that were down there that day. Um oh god, it's so horrible. But it, like, this poor guy, I feel so bad for him. Like when you want to think about bad luck, it would be this guy in a picture. But the building is actually, you know, the pictures where the buildings are collapsing and all the dust and everything is around, and like you can still see the frame of the buildings though.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing that, right? So damn, Chico, he is literally over here sawing wood. Like, hold on, if he does it again, I'm gonna put the phone next to him. He snores like a grown ass man, Ramon.
I was about to say, I was about to say, do you snore like you?
Oh, I don't snore. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now he wants to quit. He'll
He
do it
got, he
again. He
got that.
wakes himself up sometimes.
He got that from you.
Just shut up, Ramon. No, he didn't. It's so funny though. Like he snores when he's awake. Like that dog is like, you know, you ever been around a pug dog and how they snort like little pigs?
Yeah.
That's what he does. Like I'll look at him and I'm like, how are you snoring and you're awake? Like,
Right, their eyes be half shut, but they be, you know,
uh-huh.
out of it.
Yep. Dead ass. Okay, but anyway, this poor picture. So the building's in free fall, and oh, I don't even know how to explain this. I would say it's almost halfway collapsed. So, and if you look, I'm gonna send this to you because it's so fucked. But if you look at the bottom left, there's a piece of the stairwell that was, you know, that got like, I don't know how everything was breaking away and had. So picture a chunk of the stairway. It's about 4 or 5 steps still intact with the railing right there. So you've got like 4 or 5 steps with a railing. There's no sides, there's no anything. And there's a fucking man holding on to it, and the building's collapsing above him. So this poor guy lived long enough to get almost down to the bottom on the stairwell, but he's going to die because he's in the middle of free falling with the building all above him collapsing.
Jeez, man.
It's the
That's
most
bad
fucked up
luck.
picture.
That's bad luck.
Man. I couldn't believe, I was like, for this poor guy to get down that far and still be alive just to die with the whole building collapsing on top of him. Like, there would be no way he could get, and like I said, the stairwell is like it's midair. Like the way that the picture caught it is just, and nobody knew it was there. Like, you know how a lot of the Google Earth people have been able to find things that like the Google Earth didn't know that they captured, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was like. There was another person that when September 11th was happening and everybody was videoing it, there were people that were in the impact zone of, I can't remember which tower, and they were waving, trying to get people's attention. Nobody knew it until after like a week later, and they were examining the pictures and the videos and shit, and they were like, oh my God, there's people right there. Like, not where the fires and they were hanging out the windows, like an actual, like, I'll send the video to you, but I was like, Jesus, like, oh, that's horrible. But yeah, that's like the worst.
Yeah, I seen videos of the people actually like jumping, like that shit.
That shit's
crazy.
fucked. And you know, did you hear some of the survivors saying that that a lot of the people that it was around 200 people, I think they said, ended up falling. But they said a lot of them got thrown out when things were exploding, or like the blasts or the fires, and like, you know, because you've got all that fire, and they were telling them to keep the windows closed so, you know, the smoke would stay out. So you've got all that heat in there, and there would be like windows busting and all this other shit. So I know somebody said that it was so hot that the floors were melting, like their shoes were sticking to the floor, and people
Yeah,
were
I
up
bet.
on desks and shit. Yeah. Well, that jet fuel, that, my God, that shit'll burn. That's horrible.
Man.
But they were saying that a lot of people were either pushed out of windows because people were trying to get to air, or, you know, they were thrown out or knocked out by other people that were trying to jump. Like, did you see the people that were
a
holding hands?
conspiracy about jet fuel. I got a theory about that, man.
Your flat earth ass would. Go ahead, let me hear it so I can be irritated. Go ahead, go ahead.
My flat earth ass.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I was reading up on something, and I was, I go deep.
Hold on. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Dre. Hey, Maine. Go ahead. Sorry.
What up, man? What up, everybody in the chat? Salute everybody.
Salute Saturday.
You know, and yeah, you know, I go deep too. You know, that's what she said. But
that's what he said.
Yes. And so, you know, I heard things about jet fuel, about like how it's not really jet fuel, it's just regular, you know, it's like less than diesel, or it's like gasoline. Yeah, it's like it's and it's pretty much like planes, like they fly off of like water vapor. Like, now hear me out. Now hear me out on this. Like,
yeah, because you know I was about to already. My mouth was open about to say some shit already. Go ahead.
All right, so like, you know, the jet, like you look up in the clouds, whatever, and in the sky, and you see the airplanes pass by, right, and you see the little jet lines.
Hey,
whatever,
Pamela.
like,
yes. Yep.
So, like that's most of that is vapor. It's like, so like, I don't know. My theory is that most of these planes run on like water.
It's like, okay, you know when you have a car and like you have exhaust?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true too. But I think most of the planes are like, I don't know. This just means like shit. It's like it's ran. It's not. I don't believe in jet fuel. Like, I don't know. I just don't
This
believe in.
fool said, I don't believe in jet fuel. Like, you're just gonna, like, I don't believe in petrol or gas. So, can I just, like, not have to use gas on my car anymore? And, like, I don't have to spend the money on this shit? Like, Ramon, talking about you don't believe in jet. Ramon!
Not in the jet fuel. I believe in gasoline. Like if they're using gasoline or like some diesel fuel or whatever, like that's cool. But as far as like some jet fuel, they own jet fuel, like that. Nah, I'm
My,
not buying that. I'm not buying
my
that at all.
friend is crazy. My friend is crazy.
And I believe most planes fly off the patent that the guy made for the water, like to have cars run on water. That's why they killed him. Like I believe some most of these planes run, off water, off like this water generator thing that generates the engine to go to make,
You know,
and
I'll tell you one thing though, Ramon. I wish they did. It would be a lot safer and a lot fucking cheaper. I'll tell you that.
they won't tell us that because they think, they won't do that because then we won't need the oil companies, and
Right.
oil
There's
companies
too much
make a lot of
money
money.
in it. Like I said, remember that one day when I was telling you that there's so much money in oil, all you got to do is look at like Dubai. It's the richest place in the world and that's the main place for oil, and they have those ATMs where you can fucking get a gold bar. Like that's crazy.
Hey man, I love to see that. Right. They even got like statuses, like different, like how rich you is based on the number on your license plate on the car. So if you got like a
Oh,
like a number one or number two, that means like you're the top richest person in, what I'm saying, in Dubai. Like the higher the number on your license plate is, that means the higher you're broke. Like you could tell who's broke and who's rich
oh
based on
wow,
their
that's
license
messed
plate.
up.
Yeah, I know, right? So if I go down there, man, my shit gonna be like 10 numbers and shit.
You know they couldn't. They right. They couldn't do that over here because then people would just know who to rob and shit.
Straight up, yeah.
Right? Be like, I'm going after number one and number two over here, boy. What the hell?
Right. You
That
got
is wild.
A-Rab
Well,
money.
yeah, right.
They banned that
When it,
song, by the way.
oh yeah, I did remember hearing
Remember that he
something
got
about that
threats?
weird shit.
Busta Rhymes got threats from that. And they had to bleep it out. I was like, why they bleeping out A-Rab
Yeah, right.
part?
That's so weird. Hey, Mark. Hey, Pam. That's crazy.
Yeah, what up, Pamela? What up, Murph? Salute, y'all.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
drop the link too, just in case somebody wants to come back up here. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, like America's like so in fear of the I'm gonna say Muslims because that's not a race. What's the Middle East, but being, or pretty much they pretty much like we so in fear of them over there. It's like whenever we offend them slightly, what I'm saying, or we say something funny and then they get offended, like we so quick to apologize, but they could call us all types of nigger
Yes,
and
yes,
and
yes.
make fun of everybody else, even with the Jewish community, with the Jews. Like you say something, oh, they so apologetic, but when it comes to us, or even with the you know, certain sometimes the Latino community, like they apologize, but they still make fun of them, or they make fun of the Native Americans, or they make fun of the whatever. But now, like you heard about like the sports, like the Redskins. It's not Redskins anymore. It's Washington
Yep.
football team. The um um the Indians, the Cleveland Indians is changing that. It's going to be Cleveland baseball team or something, or what I mean. Like they changing that. They changing a lot of things that they had issues with, but that's been around for like almost 100 years or some shit like that. So, but now y'all want to get offended. I mean, to each his own. I get it, but it's like, damn, it's like when are we going to have our voices heard and be like, hey, enough's enough for us. What y'all gonna do for us? They're like, nah, take this EBT card, motherfucker. Here, have some more food stamps, nigga.
Oh
Oh
hell
man,
no.
Anyway,
I don't understand. I don't understand about that either. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was okay for all this time. Why in the world was it pointed out to be a problem? Like, I don't even think the people that I don't know. It was almost like, if you ask me, that might have been the start to clout, because it was almost like it wasn't the actual thing that was being changed that meant
mm,
something. It was almost like just being heard and making a stir type of thing. I don't know. That's my opinion.
I think so too. Right, because you had plenty of years to have an uproar, and then if you was complaining about it, you still didn't make it to enough to where you made it such a big deal now that they finally want to change it. Like, you know what I
Well,
mean?
and think
Y'all
about
let
it,
that
right?
shit
Don't
go.
you think? Oh, sorry. Don't you think that the older, or okay, like when they first came up with names and stuff like that, don't you think that the relatives of us or whoever, the older ones, would have been the ones that would have been more offended?
True.
Like, if it would have been bitched about, it shouldn't have been bitched about like back then. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Exactly.
weird. I think it's gotten just out of hand. Like, I mean, when I saw a thing, this was probably like a year or two before COVID, and I don't remember where it was, but you know me, I'll be like, I'll find it, I'll update it, like don't try me. But it was a school, and it was a middle school, if I remember right. Sigh. Okay. The principal, I don't know why, but she got a wild hair up her ass to where she wanted to have like everybody at the end of the year would get an award, or like if they had any kind of a game, everybody won, nobody lost. They couldn't, okay, they weren't allowed to hug each other. This is before COVID, okay? No hugging. They had to air hug. There was no high fiving. You had to air high five. Um you weren't allowed to call like certain oh man, what was it? I'll have to, but anything offensive or I don't know, morale, I don't know, like I can't think of anything that would maybe a kid might have to, that might hurt a kid's feelings, or like I guess she came up with the hugging and the high five thing because I guess some kid said that the other kid high fived him too hard one day. It was the stupidest shit I've ever heard
Oh,
in my
I
fucking
know what
life.
you're talking about. I remember that. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
then she was like they interviewed her and like this news place, and she was like, "Oh yeah, pretty soon all the schools are gonna be like this," and beating down. And I'm like, "Bitch, no, I don't. Are you kidding me? So you're trying to turn all the kids into like super wussies? What the hell? You
Yeah,
can't hug
it was a
somebody. You
local
can't."
news like article or whatever segment, and then it turned into national news because I ended up hearing it about like on a Today Show or some shit like that. Like it was trying to talk about like, oh yeah, because this new COVID protocols, social distancing. This like before they started saying like social distancing, right? Like they started.
No, but Ramon, this was like 3 or 4 years before COVID. Like this had nothing to do with that shit.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like
damn,
she
this
didn't.
happened
Okay,
before. Well,
sports. Like you remember playing kickball and shit.
yeah.
You couldn't play kickball, no kind of contact sports, no nothing, because she said that
Oh,
it led to bullying, and like kids shouldn't be touching each other because they can hurt each other, and like all this weird ass shit. Like she's weird. It sounded, messed up, and like I don't, it was just too much. And no, it did not catch on. Like I'm pretty sure she's enjoying the social distancing now, but like I said, I've
yo,
what?
you just right. Okay, that makes this all starting to make sense. See how everything like comes together. Like everything is connected. This shit's crazy. All right. Obama said something when he was in office, like back in 2014. He mentioned about having the medical company come out with these with vaccines because he said it's going to be some shit like COVID that's going to come out, and we're going to need funding for COVID. I kid you not. Like he said this shit like 5 years ago.
That's weird.
Yeah, he said it
Well,
back in
okay,
like
people are
2015
freaking
or
out
something.
about that, but listen, let me tell you something though. We knew, if you had any kind of a brain, even civilian or not, we knew that the next hit was going to be biological. We just didn't expect it to come from China, and that's where I'm going to leave that little gem at.
Mm. It's like, you know, you got to, you ever heard of Bilderberg Group?
I've heard of Build a Bear.
Build a Bear? No,
That's not the same thing.
no, not the
Hey,
same
Roz
thing at all,
Girl.
Faye. Who's up in there?
Roz Girl.
Raz Girl. Yeah, happy birthday week still. You know what I mean? Glad you blessings to you, Raz Girl. Hope you're doing great. Um, shit, this fan noisy as hell. Hold on.
Tariq is still in
All
here.
right.
Salute, Tariq. Um, what was I gonna say?
Oh yeah, Build a
Okay,
Bird.
so Build a Bird is not like Build a Bear. Okay, go ahead, explain. I'm listening.
No, totally different. It's not cuddly at all. um, so Bilderberg groups, it's pretty much like all these like Coca-Cola, all these big companies, right? All these political leaders, the top political leaders, um the top representatives from England that represents the Queen, all these princes, all these people, these high powered elitists and very important, you know, people that's in the world that comes together, that's world leaders or whatever. They come together and they have a summit, and they have, like, I think it lasts for like a week or whatever. And they come together to implement plans for the next 3 to 4 years, and they meet every year to implement a plan each for like the next 3 or 4 years. So it's like chess. You know what I'm saying? You got it with chess. You ever play chess?
Yes, but I'm not good at it. I would like to learn, but I
Yeah,
can't find people that play it, so I can get better at it. But go ahead.
yeah. I super suck at it, but I got the generalization. I got the generalization of it, but you know, yeah. I just haven't got time to be playing it. But
You
it's
super
pretty
suck
much.
at it. That's what she said. Go ahead.
Ah,
You
I just caught that.
walked into
Damn.
that one.
Damn it, Faye. All right. So it's like just like chess moves. You know, with chess moves, you gotta think 3 or 4 steps ahead of your
Right.
opponent. You know what I mean? So that's what they do with, you know, hence the checkerboard, black and white, with the Illuminati, with the Freemasons. Hmm. So so they meet up every year, and since this COVID hit, they announced it on I looked online. They said that this year they wasn't meeting up because of COVID, but I think that's a lie. I think they still did. I think they probably met up on like some some Zoom type of shit, or some online type shit. But
Hey, boy.
hey boy, man, what the fuck is going on here, man?
Right.
You know, salute. It's yeah, research Bilderberg group and Bilderberg meetings. Like like these big companies, like they
I'm about to test your sanity right now. Now, are you one of the people
they
like
pick. Oh,
are you one of
only
the people that think that icebergs can't roll over?
icebergs can't roll over. What's that mean?
Like you think like if an iceberg separates from like if you've got a I don't know, a medium-sized iceberg, like not a big one that's stationary, like it's moving in the sea, like you know how they break off pieces?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so say a piece breaks off, right? Do you think it stays the same way all the time, or do you think it can roll over?
I think icebergs is like when they say like the tip of the iceberg. I think the iceberg that's in the sea that we can't see underneath the water is larger than what we see on the surface.
It is, but as it melts and as it's like an ice cube and it's separate, like, do you think they can roll over? It's like an
Roll
ice
up,
cube. Think of it
roll
like
over
that.
like, oh, I thought I would say roll over like a dog or something.
Well, yeah, like the top can be the bottom. Don't think about an iceberg like okay, it's little on the top and big on the bottom. Think about because you know, say it's like going around the ocean, it's melting, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's changing shape and everything. It's more like an ice cube in a glass. So you know, can it roll over? Like if it was even on all sides, or one of the sides got bigger than the other one, would it turn? You know, like roll over?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. I haven't did any like. I don't
Okay,
know.
well that's better than if you would have said no. I was gonna like drop you off on my panel because I'd be like, he lost it. He lost it.
Oh
Because some
nah.
people say that because they can. They're just like, you know what I mean? Like they change, they melt, they do all. It's really cool when they do roll over, by the way. But uh, some people say that they. Have you ever heard people say that they can't? Dogs don't look up.
Yeah, yeah. They don't. They don't because.
Ramon,
Huh?
dogs look up, bro.
No, no. I'm telling you why I heard that, and they said,
Okay, why did
yeah,
you hear it? Why did you hear it?
they're talking about dogs don't look up because their nose or something, but that ain't make any sense. Like I don't know. I heard that from somebody. No, I don't believe that. No, of course, all animals look
Dude,
up.
my miniature pincher or my miniature pincher, my miniature dash hound. She's the smallest dog I've ever had, right? And
Mhm.
her feet are like an inch long, and she looks up more than like I do, right? Like I mean, she looks up constantly. Like she'll just walk around and like look up at the ceiling and look around and like I mean, she's very observant. It's weird, but she is. And yeah, like I remember hearing that a lot though. And before I had dogs, I didn't know whether to believe that or not because I wasn't around dogs and like I had been around big dogs, but I didn't really pay attention to them that much. And but I don't know why that's a thing because like I said,
Well,
growing
no,
up.
you know why? Because they part of the wolf family, and wolves look up. They look up to the moon. You know what I'm saying? They howl at the moon, so of course they got to look up. So. Hmm.
See, Pamela says hers look up too. See, I'm gonna have to Google that and see where that came from because I want to know who in the hell started that bullshit because it's not true.
Yeah, somebody told like because of the nose, because of their nose or something like that, because of their snout and they.
That doesn't make any sense.
I
Think about it.
know
You just said it right because a wolf has a very long snout, and if they howl and look up, like
it
weird.
exactly, and that's what I was saying. I was like, well, wolves. I'm like, well, dogs come from wolves, like their ancestors are wolves. So I'm like, and they,
Right.
what do you think howling at the moon means? Like, you know.
Uh-huh. That's weird. Yeah, Pamela said her dog looks up and looks for squirrels and trees. Yeah, they do that. They're very, very, very observant. Like I said, it's crazy. It's also weird how dogs have different personalities. Well, all animals do, but
Yeah. So how's your how's jalapeno and Chico's personalities?
oh my gosh. First of all, let me tell you, before you got on here, Jalapeno was like I don't know, she's played with her toys, off and on today, but the minute I started the live, she like went ham. She was just squeaking and squeaking and squeaking. I'm like, I had to tell her to stop like three different times. But let me see. If I had to explain their personalities, like, okay, I will say that my Chiweenie, Pico de Gallo or Chico, he is I got him from the Humane Society. He's really, really laid back. Like he goes outside and he loves to be outside, but he'll like chill out on the couch or whatever. He's just real chill. And he gets feisty and plays around, but not that much. Now, if you're talking about Jalapeno, now she was bred the miniature dash hounds because dash hounds were bred for hunting, and the miniature ones they bred in Germany to go down like foxholes and rabbit holes and snake holes and stuff like that. So they're bred for like major hunting, and you can actually see it in her instinct. I actually got her before she was supposed to leave the mom, and which I hate it when people do that, but she didn't learn anything from other dogs, so you can tell her skills are instinctual. And she'll literally like if she hears any kind of little noise, like she'll jump up out of a sleep and just automatically run over to it. If she like she'll dig and bury things, and her nose is out of this world. Like I have to hide. Like if I buy dog treats, how if you buy any kind of treats, they come in like a bag that's sealed. Like you could send it up to space and it would be okay. They seal it so much. Well, I can buy dog treats. They're not open. They're sealed in a bag. They can be in the Walmart bag or what Publix bag, whatever. And I could put it like I have to hide them. I put it one time on the top of the entertainment center, and she literally one time was at the bottom of the entertainment center, and it's probably like 6 feet tall. She was on the floor looking up, whining, and I'm like, "What is she whining at? Why won't she stop whining?" And I go over there and I happen to look up, and that's where the treats were. But I had never gotten any treats from up there. She didn't see me put it up there. Like her smell is outrageous. But yeah, like hunting wise, like if she sees a squirrel, she'll like she makes this noise like that she doesn't make it any other time. It's so crazy. Um, but yeah, they have way different personalities, way different. Oh, let me tell you how smart she is too. Um, you know how you can teach a dog to like fetch a toy if you throw it and stuff like that? Well, I taught her how to do that, right? But one day I went to throw her squeaky toy at her and she hit it back with her nose, like kind of volleyballed it back to me. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? I threw it back to her again and she did it again. So she taught herself how to like, nose her toy back and forth to me, like play catch.
Oh, that's dope.
I
Yeah.
swear. I was like, yeah, that was so crazy. And just completely taught herself.
Got set up like a little doggy volleyball net or something and play
Oh,
volleyball.
that would be hilarious. Yeah, she's a trip.
Like tennis or something. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like they've got on YouTube. I don't know how I ended up watching these monkeys, but they have the macaque monkeys, and they're very small. They're like the babies are probably about the size of your hand, and the grown-ups are maybe about the size of like your arm. They're not big at all, and they're over in like India and stuff. And oh, great, yeah, I guess somebody thought it was a good idea because they're illegal over here, but somehow, some way,
Oh yeah, I
um,
call them Pikachu's. Yeah.
oh, you know what I'm talking about? Okay,
Yep.
so they somehow, some way, people have gotten them over here, and I don't know why, but people buy exotic pets, and then they end up learning that they can't take care of them or they're too much for them. I mean, I don't know why somebody would think that they would want a loud ass mischievous monkey in their house, but they'll release them into the wild, right? So now Florida is actually having a problem that's starting because these monkeys breed like rabbits. Like, I mean, they live to 25 to 30 years and they have a baby almost every year. So in India, they call them vermin, like they consider them like rats because they're so populated. And they get into your shit, they'll destroy your house. They do, I mean, like they're a big time problem over there. So I don't know what Florida is going to do, but they've started to spot them and they're starting to get into shit and mess with stuff like down in Fort Lauderdale and West Palm and everything. But
See, I don't like
um,
that. Like you know what I'm saying? God made the animals before he made us, man. It's like
right.
they don't understand that since they building something, okay, we should not mess with the humans or with their buildings, but they don't know that. They know that you're coming in our environment, you know what I'm saying, and our territory and what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? It's like I understand, like, like if they
Well, you
mess
got
with
to
you,
think about
but
it.
I
Have
don't
you
know.
ever looked at it like this? Like I look at it like this. I agree with you, but to a certain extent, because animals are usually afraid of humans unless they've been accustomed to humans. So, if we weren't trying to domesticate these wild animals, if they came across buildings or roads or anything like that, if they, because monkeys are pretty smart. Like I'm not talking about like a turtle or something that gets road killed normally because they're slower. They're not that smart. But when you're talking about exotic animals or something like that, yes, true enough, I think we're going into their territory, but at the same time, they usually retreat and go inward. But when they're used to us or they've been around us, that's when you start having problems and they start like monkeys, they literally will like you don't want to what are the oh god, what are the kinds that they're violent? Orangutans, I guess, like, they can actually, like, they're strong enough to where, like, they can grab you and, like, hold you and, like, you can't get loose from them. Like it's happened a lot at, like, these, I don't know if you call them, like, parks, because you can walk through and, like, they're not caged up. But
Yeah.
I saw a video where this one orangutan came up to this lady and grabbed onto her, and she was kind of laughing at first, right? But then when she couldn't get it off of her wrist, like it was hurting her and everything, and it was trying to drag her in the woods, like, I'm not lying. And they had to, like, give it food so it would, like, leave her alone. It was crazy, but it was smart enough to know that if it grabbed her, that it would get given food to give her back.
Happy birthday to me.
Right? So,
Sorry.
like, it knew that,
10:05.
like, all I gotta do is grab a human and I'll get fed. So, they're not slow by any means. But oh, that's what I was gonna talk about with the macaques or whatever. There's like a couple videos I saw where there's a whole thing, right, where these people video these macaques over in India and stuff, and they name them. And I mean, these monkeys have more drama than, like, they're like us. They have drama. It's crazy. But they they'll video them sometimes, and, like, they'll actually have their babies, right? Do you know they'll, like, have their baby, and the baby's instinct is so strong that it immediately latches on to the mom. Like, it grab, because that's how they hang on to their mom under their stomach. They'll with their feet and their hands, they, like, cling to their mom or whatever.
Fucking mama's
But
boy.
yeah, it hasn't even taken a breath, and it already is grabbing to hold on to it. Like, that's instinct. And when I saw that, I was like, that amazes me that animals do that, but people, babies, we have to be taught everything. Like, we're super fragile. We don't know shit when we're born, but animals literally, like, come out and they're, like, really strong, and they're like, it's so weird, the difference.
Man, they don't give shit about the daddy though. Like, forget the daddy back at, like, oh, let me go to mommy. Like, man.
Well, no,
Big dad.
those groups, the macaque groups, the dad, well, no, yeah, because the dad is the alpha, and the alpha monkey, he stays there and he doesn't want to be bothered. Some of them actually deal with the little kids, but other than that, they'll, like, snap at them if they come around them because they don't want to be bothered. They just sit there all day and do nothing. But the male monkeys, when they get around, like, I think it's 3 years old, 2 to 3 years old, they have to leave the troop because they're a threat to the alpha, so they have to go out on their own and find their, like, their own troop or whatever. But the girls stay. But it's crazy. Pamela, where do you live at? If you don't mind me asking. She said the deer population's out of control where she lives. They must not be able to hunt deer where she lives at.
Oh god. Oh, well, I was like, what is that? How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
I've been asleep all day, man. Yeah, living the life, man. Yeah, mommy should be
Oh,
home.
wow, Virginia. Do you guys have deer hunting in Virginia?
Yeah, my bad, Fave. Yeah, my boys just came in the house. So.
Oh, no, you're okay. I was talking. Pamela said that the deer population's out of control where she lives, so I was saying, where does she live at? And she lives in Virginia. And so I was wondering if they have deer hunting over there.
Oh, it'd be deer to be coming in through our yards too. Like it'd be cool. Like, it'd be deer. Yeah, it'd be coming through the front yard and through the backyard. Crazy.
Deer are so neat.
You said deers are so neat?
Yeah. Like, because they're really quiet and they can, like, I don't know, they're just very, like, docile.
Yeah, they kind of seem almost like harmless. You know what I mean? Like, they
Right?
just mind their business. They, you know what I mean?
It's
It's like,
crazy, though, because I hate to say it, but venison meat is so good, though.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It
I
is.
haven't had venison since I moved down here. That's one of the first things I want to do if I go back up north is eat some venison meat. Oh my god.
Venison stew. Mm.
Yes.
Put
And
that
what's
in a
crazy
crock
is,
pot or a slow cooker.
yep,
Oh,
yep. My mom used to make that all the time, and like it's just like, oh, I hated it. I think the closest thing I found to venison down here was a venison beef jerky one time at like this random gas station. That was about the closest I got. And it
nice.
was not the same. It was not the same.
So, have you been hunting before? You go hunting?
Yeah, yeah, I went with my dad a couple times.
Yeah, I did it twice. I didn't feel comfortable because I I was around a whole bunch of white people, so like I felt uncomfortable. Yeah, because I was like, damn, man, it's like all these white people with a shotgun and shit, and I'm out here in the woods. Like this is a bad look, but
That's a mess.
but no, we had fun though. Like you know what I'm saying. It was fun. It was fun. Like we got these woods out. It's this township called Mankato. It's way up north and shit. So it's like it's it's pretty cool. No, not Mankato. That's South Duluth, Minnesota. And yeah, we they had a cabin up there and shit, and they had their own like it was cool. Like they had like I forgot what it's called, but it's called a deer output or whatever. It's like they build it like it's kind of like a tree house. It's not a tree house, but it's
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm talking about though, right? Like it's like this little
Like
cot
a yeah, like a wait a minute. Are you talking about like a deer
like a deer outpost or like a
yeah, it's like a deer, not a deer hut. Damn, my
damn.
dad would yell at me right now. I can't remember what the hell you call it.
But pretty much you build it like up in the trees, up top of the where the tree is and shit, and then
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I forgot. But anyway, yeah, and we was just scoping out deer and other what was the other one we was doing? But yeah, anyway,
Have you
uh,
ever went ice fishing?
what's it called again?
Ice fishing?
No, no. I've been I've been offered many times, and I don't subscribe to that. Just sitting out in the cold. First of all, I don't like the cold, anyways.
No,
So
you got to have an ice shanty.
yeah, I understand. I'm straight. I'm straight on that phase. I'm good, man.
I went ice fishing with my dad a few times. I always thought it was the coolest shit because you were on the ice, but you're in like a little like he had an ice shanty where you have your fire in there and everything.
Yeah.
I
I
always
mean,
used to think it was so
I've
cool.
been inside one, but I never ice fish. But I've been inside one. Like it's cool how they got it set up. Like they got a heater thing right there.
Yeah,
Like
you're basically in a little like fort thing with heat and everything else, and all you're away from the elements, but you're on ice and you got a hole in the middle of the floor where you're trying to get fish.
right. So yeah, it's cool. But I was like, nah, that's just not my thing, man. Just sitting there
I
eight
know in
hours.
Michigan, I can't remember where it was because I was so young, but I remember that during the winter you would drive by the lakes and you would see everybody's fish shanty out there because people would leave them out there, and you go out there periodically and everything. But then when the winter would start to get warmer, people would either not have a chance to go out there and get their ice shanty, or they would forget or what have you, and you would see them like halfway sunk into the lake. And
That was another thing that I wish I would have did when I went to Florida. I wanted to take my boys and my wife's fishing, but we didn't have the time to do that. Whatever. So, but that's another reason why I
okay.
want to go down to Florida because yeah, I love fishing. Man. It's like I miss that. Like
I think I had said on Larry's panel one day or something like that. I said it on something. I want to go deep sea fishing. I haven't been, and I want to go catch one of those bright blue swordfish so I can get it stuffed and put it on my wall like rich people do.
hey, you know,
I'm telling you, I want one so bad. Like you see them a lot down here if you go in like a fishing business or something like that. There's that big ass swordfish. I'm like, man, I want one of those. And when you catch them, like if you look at videos or where people catch, like you really gotta like on the boat. you got to put your pole into an actual thing that holds the pole, because you can't physically do it with your own weight, because it'll rip it right out of your, like, because you really got to wear it out. Like, you ever went fishing and you got to wear out the fish when you're pulling it
That's
in?
what she said. But yeah.
Nice. But yeah, you got to wear it out, and it's so, like, it's
Yeah.
so strong, and that you literally have to put your pole into a
That's what she
thing
said.
on the boat. Shut
So-
up.
I'm
I just
sorry.
caught that.
I'm sorry. You just catch it up, man. I'm just you just throwing them
You're a
out there.
mess.
But yeah, no, you're right though, because yeah, it's like it weighs like 2
Yeah,
times the weight.
look. Pamela said that her brother just caught a marlin. That's what it is, and she said it took him 4 hours to get it in.
Oh,
That's
nice.
that's what she said. But
I
yeah,
think
that's what
I
I'm
seen
talking
somebody
about.
catch like a hammerhead shark too.
I saw somebody get a baby hammerhead. That shit freaked me out. I've got a picture of it somewhere.
Right? Don't they look freakish? Like wow, it's like they
They
really look like
do.
a hammerhead, like for real, for
Yep. Yep. They're
yeah.
probably looking at us like that, right? They're probably like, these weird ass people, put me back in the water, you dipshit.
Right. You walking in the land, you you dumbasses.
Right? That's
Like our birds
crazy.
look at us like, haha, you can't fly. Ha, look at you, idiot.
You ever had a bird shit on you? Don't lie.
No, but I had a bird shit right next to my car though, but it didn't hit me though. But it shat right like on the hood of the car. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, that's. I was like, you little motherfuckers. Can't do nothing about it. It just flew off and shit. Ain't nothing you could do.
yeah,
What, has
right.
it happened to you before?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that. Well,
Well,
I
you know,
remember I
it
was
happened.
only like, I think I was like 8 or 9, right? And my mom and dad had taken me camping. And I remember I was running because it was my mom and dad, and we had like a RV or whatever, and then they had like 2 or 3 of their other couple friends. So it was like a circle of like these RVs, and like I said, I was younger, so I can only remember so much. But I remember running from the camper over to the lake where my mom was at, and somehow in between there, some bird went by me, and I remember getting shit on, like it hit the side of my like the side of my hair on my shoulder, and I remember I started screaming and running to my mom. That shit scarred me, bro, because I still remember that. But I have a funnier story than that, and I'll be more than willing to tell you that because it happened to my sister, so it's funny. But there, if you go to Fort Myers on the beach, right, there's hotels and stuff, and on the top of some of the hotels there's restaurants, so you're literally like eating outside on the top of the buildings, right?
Hmm.
And my sister one day, she called me and she was like, hey, you want to go to lunch on the top of the what you call it, at the ocean? I was like, sure, I'll meet you over there. So I go over there and we're out there eating and everything, and no lie, you know how there's seagulls and stuff like that and all types of different birds by the ocean. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I've never heard about this happening before. Like I said, I think it's hilarious that it happened to her. But we were outside eating, and just out of nowhere, a seagull comes by and happened to shit, and it literally splat like right on the side of her face and like all over her hair. And she had long hair, right? So
Damn.
she starts freaking out, right? Because she's got to go back to work. Like, we were on our lunch break or whatever, and she's like, "Oh my god, how am I gonna get this out of my hair?" And she went into the bathroom and tried to wash it out and couldn't get it out. Like, she ended up buying like
You need
20
herbal.
because everything.
You need herbal
Well,
essence.
20. Yeah, right. Well, on the beach, everything's more expensive, right? And so she bought like she couldn't find any shampoo anywhere. So she ended up buying like some tanning oil or something and rubbed it in her hair to get the smell out.
Oh Lord.
That shit was wonderful. That's great.
You ever been to Cocoa Beach?
No.
Okay, that's where we went. We went to Cocoa Beach there, and yeah, we sat on this patio deck on this uh where this one resort or whatever it was at, and like we sat on top of there, and we seen a whole bunch of seagulls and you know and shit like that. Like they're not scared of humans at all.
No, them bitches are bold as fuck. They will come over and like literally like snatch shit from you. They're like
Yes,
these
that happened. Yes,
yeah.
That happened to me. When we was in Orlando, when we went the second time we went on a family trip, and they literally just walk up, and I had like some French fries, and
Oh yeah.
just literally walked up to my basket and started eating out of my basket. I'm like, what the fuck? And you know, so yeah,
Yep,
and I was like,
they
what?
will.
I was like
You're
nine,
lucky you didn't take off with your whole basket.
like that shit crazy. Oh, Faith, have you ever seen pelicans?
Yes.
Those things are creepy, man.
They are kind of weird looking. Like on the cartoons and stuff, they make them look really cool, but when you see them in real life, they're odd.
They look evil. Like I seen one. I was like, yo, like I was backing up and like that thing looks like it could eat me, man. It's like that motherfucker look like it'll just gobble me up or something like that.
Yeah, their pouches are pretty big. They're weird. I saw one time. It was so neat that it was taking off from the ocean, and it went by me, and it had a fish in its mouth, and its mouth was open so you could see it. It was so cool looking, but I felt bad for the fish.
Yeah, yeah. I love nature, man. I love like if shit start popping off and we have to defend ourselves, like we have to go out and live out in the wilderness. Like, man, I'm for it. You know what I mean? I'm down
Oh
for that.
no! Look, poor Pamela said that she was laying out and a seagull shit on her stomach. Oh no, that's horrible.
Damn.
I think Larry said he's been shitted on too. Now you know what that makes me think that like birds are doing that on purpose. Like,
Yeah, it's like out of all the
have you
places
ever just washed
y'all
your
could drop
car
y'all load, y'all just want
and
to
you
like
come back outside and like there's a whole bunch of bird shit all over it, and you're like, really? There's not even a tree here. Like, why do I have a shitload of bird shit on my car all of a sudden?
right. It's like y'all evil, man. Like y'all shicey as hell. Y'all real
Yeah,
shicey.
for real. They do that shit on purpose. I'm telling you. Well, I think I'm going to close this down. It's almost time for Larry to go live. He's going to go live in, I think, like,
Like 10, 15 minutes.
yeah, yep,
Yeah,
pretty soon.
yeah.
Pretty
He said like
soon.
11:45 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did a reminder, though, so we should be able to catch it.
Okay.
But that way I can, I don't know, get a drink and grab a snack and stretch.
I was gonna. Oh, I'll ask you real quick. Like, what's your favorite like beer? Because I know you
I
drink.
don't,
Oh, you
I
don't
don't
drink
drink
beer?
beer, believe it or not. No.
Oh, okay.
You know why though? Because I used to drink like I don't know, like back in the day when I first started drinking, I would drink like like you drink like malt liquor drinks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember what it was that my friend had, and she was like, "Oh, try it, try it." And it was something with malt liquor in it, and I immediately like I took a sip, and I had gotten like a real bad headache, and like my cheeks turned red, and like she thinks I had like an allergic reaction to it or whatever. And so I was like, oh, never again. Screw that noise. So I just stay away from it altogether now. Like if I drink, it's usually like liquor.
Okay. Like light liquor, dark liquor.
I do clear. Yeah, like white.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like if I drink, like I could drink a whole thing of brown liquor and I won't even get a buzz from it.
Well, all right, Fave. Thanks for having me on here, and
Yes, I had fun. We just, for some reason, every time you're up here, we end up going like back and forth with the weirdest topics, but it's fun.
yeah, it's all good.
Yes, yes. Um, what do you call it? Yeah, and then we're all gonna end up over at Larry's. I had fun. Thank you for being up here. Shout out to everybody that came by. Let me see. Tariq, Pamela, Larry. Who else? We've got Harlem. Hey Harlem. Harlem, you gotta go over to Larry's after this. Let me see. Raz girl. Murph. A boy. He fell out the bushes. Let me see. Let me see. I think that was everybody. I think I got everybody. Oh, Dre. Maine had popped in for a minute. And Vic. I think that's pretty much everybody. But yes, thank you everybody for coming. I hope you guys found it interesting. And like I said, you know how I do my updates. So if I'm able to find out anything on top of the updates that I do, I'll let you guys know about everything, because like I said, it drives me nuts when content creators tell you about shit that happens and they never update it. So I'm going to stay true to that. And I'm going to make sure I have like an update thing at least like probably once a week. But everybody go over to Larry Beach 247. We're at a different country tonight on the world tour. We're still dragging the horse. And so be ready to be over there. And the party will start soon.
Yeah, we're
And like I
dragging
said,
Mrs. Ed, not Mr. Ed, but Mrs. Ed, Mrs. Ed.
there you go. There you go. Damn right. Well, like I said, everybody go over there. And I will see you all soon. Ramon, I will see you over there. And thank you, everybody. Love you all. Bye, Ramon. I'll see you over there, okay?
All right, Fave.
All right. Bye.
Peace.